stuff, and disclaimer, anything could get brought up and anything that somebody might be kind of sensitive towards. So I just want to say that, and for entertainment purposes only. I have been gardening a ton. Spent all day the past few days sowing seeds, basically all day. So I'm super excited. So probably I was trying to count like 600 plus seeds today. Tons of flowers as well. Like I haven't sown many. I guess I have sown some flowers, but it's really starting to ramp up and it's exciting. And there's been a few things that have come up that I wanted to talk about. And one of which, and I already went on a live telling my perspective of this hantavirus stuff, is like, oh no, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, try to not say anything that could be concerning within the first minute of a video, but I don't think that matters for lives as much as edited content. But I almost spilled that. So there has been not that much news about the hantavirus situation besides what I've noticed is, okay, like I said before, hi John, how are you? I don't think it's worth worrying about. I'm not trying to worry anybody about it either. I'm super interested in this stuff as somebody who has health issues, including autoimmune diseases, and has been injured by preventative medicine twice before in my life. And anyways, so I found through YouTube, and I looked this up, you can Google it too. If you Google hantavirus lives in semen up to 6 years. In 2023, they, through studying, found out that this particular virus might be able to be passed sexually because of this fact. And I didn't know this, but apparently it's not the only virus that can like live in a man's semen, not any other part of the body, and not affect him. Like it's not he was infected with it, or maybe he was, but you know what I mean, like currently not infected with it. I think that that is super duper interesting. And in my layperson's opinion, I think that they don't know so much about the human body. Like the brain is one example we all know about. Like they really don't know that much about the brain. And I think it's like that for the immune system, in my opinion. But I'm not giving any medical advice. This is not any, you know, anything but entertainment. But yeah, you can Google that. It's definitely, it's all over the place. Tons of articles, the actual like PubMed scientific journal, I think. It can live, and then, so it was discovered in 1993. And I'm thinking of, once again, like my, just a stay-at-home mom, I know nothing. I know nothing about anything, and I'm not claiming to. We're just having fun talking about is people who know nothing. And I'm not saying you know nothing. I'm just saying like I don't want people to think that I know everything. But I thought about Lyme disease in like the early 90s. Wow, it's what other virus? I'm sure they're out there, but what else? And hantavirus doesn't like infect the mice. Did you know that? Like they don't become infected with an illness that is the hantavirus. They carry the virus, but it doesn't affect them. Kind of like Lyme disease. And like I don't know. I have not seen you in quite a while. I hope you're doing well. I am John. How are you doing? I have been gardening a ton. I mean, I spent like 8, 10 hours sowing seeds today. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So in between, that's what I'm listening to, a lot of stuff while I'm like outside in the garden. And I've noticed a shit ton more activity with helicopters and airplanes. Okay, we live pretty rurally. Like you have to drive 30 minutes, I mean 25 minutes to get to anything significant like a Walmart, or I mean we live pretty far away even from a major highway, and it is very rare to hear planes. Our first house, constant planes because of the location of it. So I was used to barely ever having a plane fly overhead the last 3 years here. Now it's constant, constant, constant. And if you haven't seen, there is a video that's gone semi-viral where this woman in Kentucky is filming a helicopter, and there's a string hanging down from the helicopter, and a lot of people allegedly find boxes full of ticks and immediately jumped there and said that. But then somebody said to me, so I didn't come up with this on my own, but they said that that could be them measuring water tables for a data center or a data center location. And I'm like, gosh, I hate to say it, but we are like pretty much in between the two biggest cities in Kentucky. And I just thought, it's so mountainous here and we can't get high-speed internet because of the terrain. What are the odds they're going to put in some like data center? But I'm sure whatever technology they need, they would be able to do it. You know, I mean, we can go to the moon and back. I know we can get the internet in the mountains if they really wanted to. Hi, Mohammed. How are you? My name is Denial. I'm probably saying that wrong. Hi, Mr. Sandhu. How are you? Oh, Felipe. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Felipe is from Portugal. How are you doing? What do I think of Titus Moore's Kenneth Martin? I think that he is a false prophet. I think he's a horrible representation of Christianity, and him and his wife both are, and that they should be ashamed of themselves and quit trying to live off of other people's hard work. I think that if they really wanted to start a real church, they would be helping people in the community. And all I've seen is take. And I don't believe a man is easily reformed from things like that involving children. And I don't think that they should be in the public in any sort of like community position at all. And I don't talk about it that much. Somebody told me a detail that I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. And because Kentucky didn't think that he should be arrested, even though he went to the hospital that night, it's a long story. But they do seem to be getting less support, even though Peter Santinello still features him on his channel, and Titus Moore's videos are Peter's most viewed videos. So it's like, I understand it from that perspective, but also like Peter wouldn't be hurting for money if he just took down those videos and stopped trafficking people to Titus's content. And so sometimes I go and I lurk a little and I see people supporting him that probably don't know about it, but I don't know. It's like, it's gotten to this point where it, like, being selfish, my perspective is, I really realized how many people, especially with the Epstein files, are like, they just don't care about children. And that's really sad. It's really sad to me that so many people can call themselves Christians and then support somebody like him knowingly. Thank you for sending that star, Javier. I did see it. I don't play music. I don't have a way to play music. Maybe one day I will do that, like when I get a new phone, and then I can use this phone I'm on to like play the music, but you know. So if anybody didn't hear it, I just thought this was super interesting that 2023, a study came out that said the hantavirus can live in a man's semen for up to 6 years. Like, this man had been infected, and 6 years later, and this wasn't a current infection, like he was showing symptoms otherwise. In the study, it specifically brought up how it might be able to like turn into an STI and be able to be transmitted that way. And one reason why I keep bringing it up, and not to fearmonger, I just have a feeling, and I'm not God or anything, but I think that it's super interesting that they say it's so hard to transmit, yet 3 people on one cruise ship that we know of got, like, that just doesn't seem like that's super rare and super hard to transmit. And remember, it was like the same thing with COVID. It was like real low key. You saw videos of people like passing out in the street in China for a few months. Like, if you don't remember, like, really think about it. It was like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for like 2 solid months that it was like infecting people and people were being quarantined. And I understand the nature of this, but it's like oh, hey, Mr. Carey, how are you? Titus is selling strawberries. Is he selling them like on the side of the road, or how is he selling them? Hey, Pyramid, how are you? Thank you for saying, I think you are 100% right, Kenneth. It's just like, it's about the innocent beings that might be around him. You know, that's what gets to me the most. And seeing how they like show their baby constantly in every single video. It's like this object to make money off of. I think that that's so horrible and like anti everything they should be standing up against. And I spent a lot of time in, like, there's different counties where there's a lot of Amish people, you know. And he wants people to think he's Amish, okay? I know he doesn't say that, but that's what he wants people to think. He is like the opposite of, they are like very meek and mild. Like, they'll be really nice sometimes. I'm not saying that, sometimes they're like pretty like what you think somebody would be that lives radically different than the rest of the world. Like, they don't want to be YouTubers. And I think that Lavina, she's really cool. She's like somebody who left the Amish and she makes content, and it is really neat to hear about. But thank you, Juan. Hey, Gary, how are you? Trump isn't a bad president. Savage Glizzy, you're just trying to stir the pot now, aren't you? Are you afraid of ghouls en route? Yeah, if there's like true demons, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Viruses don't exist. Kill the hive mind says you're one of those. Kill the hive mind. I'm open minded to a lot of that, like germ versus terrain theory. You know what I mean? Because I do understand where people are coming from with that. When you look up certain things, like some of these images they have of certain viruses, it's like, this is like from 1958. You don't have anything newer to show. But once again, I'm not an expert. I'm not giving any expert advice, but I do think it's really interesting how we're slowly finding out these things. Hantavirus first identified in 1993. Once again, like, I do totally believe these tick-borne illnesses were created in a lab. We've already been pretty much told that this is what happened with COVID, that if you were a big conspiracy theorist 6 years ago who was saying this came from a lab, because this, I was like, oh, you leave it up to the scientists, like, nothing. But then everything that we thought did come to light recently. And of course, nothing's being done about it. Like, they want to put on a show to make us feel like maybe, because like, if you didn't see those hearings, like what, last week, it was pretty satisfying hearing what's her face, was it AOC, being like, this is horrible, you guys, but like, nothing's going to come of it. We all know nothing's going to come of it, just like anything with any of these people. Hello, Mr. Carey, how are you? I hope you're doing okay, Gary said. Oh, thank you for saying I'm great, Michael. I don't know who Lane Staley is, Southern Sniper. I'm sorry, Lane. I was like, did I say something? Da Vinci. Do you really do that, Da Vinci? I mean, that would be fine with me, but no pressure. Oh, I was about to read that. Thank you, Mr. Carey. There's a ghoul behind you, Enro. You're going to have to do a lot more than that to scare me or get to me. Ever been to Mammoth Cave? Yes, quite a few times, Animus. It's really cool. And there's lots of caves around there. Some of them aren't worth it as much. Like, I hate to say it, but I have a video up on my channel. The tour before the cave was really cool, but then you get on a boat and go in the cave, and they advertise it as that, like, the biggest boat that goes in a cave in Kentucky. I'm sorry, you just like literally go in the cave and turn around and go out. And I was like, wow, I'm glad we didn't bring the whole family because of the cost of it. It's just me and one kid. But Mammoth Cave and like everything around it is worth it. And Outlaw Cave, that's a really fun one. Oh my gosh, if you're lucky enough to get a private tour. I've lucked out and gotten several private tours. We got a private tour in Marengo, meaning we were the only people who signed up for the tour. It wasn't really private, and like, it was just me and my sister and my kids years ago at Marengo. That's a cool cave in Indiana. It's not that far from Louisville. Trump is a terrible president, the worst. I agree, Gary. And I didn't think I was getting behind in the chat. I'm not going to get behind in the chat. Is this Kylie Minogue? No, Dave. Dave, you need to go to the optometrist. How are you doing? I've got 1958 written on my shorts, Jimmy said. Just stop on my way. You are 100% gorgeous, new to your channel. Oh, thank you, Silent Nemesis. That's really nice. I prefer to watch you on mute. Amir. Hi, Mohammed. How are you doing? Thank you for saying you love my eyebrows. God was in his bag when he made you. Oh, everybody's being so nice tonight. Catch a predator or just give up. Are you asking the question? I agree with 90% of what you say. The other 10% I strongly disagree. That's cool, Kaden. I've seen you here before, right? You're somebody who's been in here before. I think it's a lost art, and it's like just a bare minimum. It's not like you should get patted on the back, but like, if you can see somebody say something you disagree with and still tolerate their presence in any way at all. And I understand, I have like hard lines that when somebody crosses, I'm like, nope, and that can even change from season to season. And I know what that sounds like. I don't care. It's true. Like, sometimes you're just depending on what you're going through in your life. But whenever people literally can't, like, they're the most closed off, closed-minded. And I know, I keep talking about videos I'm going to make. There's like a few that like I'm going to make soon. And one is going to be talking about how why I liked Trump. I think that some people are never going to listen and never going to be able to comprehend anything other than they think that I really sincerely didn't think he was like a white supremacist. I really didn't think he was like the way that he is, because I will admit I did fall for the stories of like he treated his workers really well and he did favors for people, and he wasn't racist, and anyways, it was like his dad that was the racist landlord. It's a spiritual war for souls, rather. We believe it. See, God love us and wants us to be in heaven with him, and Satan wants us in hell with him. But if you choose God, we have to give our life to Jesus and repent. Thank you for saying that, Tom Hook. I respect that. I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Carey. I pray you feel better soon, Gary said. Oh, I have ran out of nicotine, Pyramid said. I'm sorry to hear that. Hi from Owensboro, Kentucky. Cool, Darren. How are you doing? Hi, Lydia. Your comments on Titus Morris were on target. Well said, insightful. Oh, Gail, how are you doing? Yeah, it's so disappointing, honestly. Did you guys hear about the Disney cruise ship thing where it's like a bunch of PDF files were busted, like dozens of Disney cruise ship employees? And it's just like, it's creepy. When you're not like that, it's really scary to think about how many people are. And sometimes I feel like I'm failing my 9-year-old son by not putting him in school. I feel like maybe he would do better in school, but I can't put a child who can't speak conversationally yet away from me for hours a day, like with, oh my gosh, and how many women it seems like I think it's everything is getting worse. Like I go back and forth. Were people always this racist, or was it like I really experienced, I thought that like racism was getting better. There were less racist people, and then it became like stirred up again. And then I was like, no, I told myself that can't be true, because you have to be like that ingrained in you. Somebody just doesn't like turn racist. And then, but like, oh my gosh, one of my subscribers, Gleamer Doom, they made a good point. And they said they felt the same way, that like in the 90s things were getting better. I saw a guy from the Four Tops. It's a really good Motown band. If you didn't know that, I'll Be There song. He said it in a PBS NPR radio interview, like things were getting better in the 90s. They were. And do you guys have any young people in your life that weren't even alive then and still like yearn for it? It's really interesting to me that there's like these young kids that like yearn for the 90s. It's kind of not funny. I just have to laugh at it. At the lake fishing, tuning into the stream. Oh, that sounds so nice, Silent. Good luck fishing. The only way you would think Trump's terrible president is because you're delusional. JF Baird, with all due respect, you'd have to be delusional not to think that. What has he done? He's totally screwed over the average person. And you look at the only thing that's doing good is like in some aspects Wall Street, and there's even some stuff that is like, and the average American, there's like a all-time high in like 30 years, or was it since 2008? And delinquent car loans. There's so many foreclosures spiking. People aren't doing well. And I'm not ashamed to say, like, we're behind on most of our bills. It's like, it's always something. It's hard to keep up. And then, my son got his driver's license. Our car insurance doubled. You're already living paycheck to paycheck. One bill increasing is going to set you back. And then now you're paying fees because it's expensive to be poor. And it's not right. It's not fair. I can't imagine supporting him through the Epstein files. JF, if you support a president who literally protects pedophiles, I don't care to say respectfully. I take my respectfully back. Gosh, how could you not be disappointed by him bombing, putting all of our tax dollars? Did you hear the latest about Israel? That students, I believe in California and some university there, brought it to light that people who were donating their bodies to science, it was going to these creepy IDF training programs where these Israelis were coming over. They would do this freaky Frankenstein sounding stuff. Sabby Sabs made a video about it today. They literally like make the person's body like their pulse come back and stuff. Like they like make so they're breathing so they can do what? Don't tell me, I'm sorry, don't tell me that's not, in my opinion, some creepy demonic Kabbalah shit, that they like that. They like knowing that there's like good-hearted people donating their bodies to science, and they're gonna like do creepy shit with them. And there's like literal like medical stuff. You can look it up. This is legit. I've heard of similar things. A man said his grandma or mom donated her body to science, and then he found out that she was blown apart. And I think that was our military. And he was tore up about it. Like, they don't disclose these things. Who would sign up for that? Oh, yeah, you just have to see. And it's like that creepy, satanic, just this like attitude, like Kevin O'Leary talking about the data centers. It's because the wars of the future are going to be fought with robots. It's like, how about you think about a future without like any of that shit? How about that? How about you use your money to like help people and make them stronger and better, and then we'll all be better off. I'm into learning about the nursing field for some reason. I mean, it's interesting to me, like teachers too. Everything's going to shit. I know this sounds so negative, but it's just like people need to be aware that are in their own little bubble for whatever reason. Good for you if like you're doing well. I don't mean that like you're ignorant. Like I do mean that like good for you if your mental health is on par and you're like focusing on your life and what you can change in your own environment immediately around you. I think that's a good thing. But we've got to know like there's no nursing shortage. They screw over nurses. They don't treat them right. They don't pay them right. And then they'll have a traveling nurse come in and make 3 times the money. Why don't you give the nurses that are there a higher wage? There is a law implemented in California, the Safe Nurse Act, I think it was called, where there like a max is put on the amount of patients per nurse. And everything got better. Less workman's comp injuries, 30% increase in like nurses applying, like women, I'm sorry, people, I know it's not just women and men who wanted to apply for these jobs because they're like, yay, finally something. Nurses work so hard. And when I was growing up, I'm 39 years old, I was going to say 40. It was a really good career, right? It was something that you knew you would make good money in. Just like everything else, it's not like that anymore. Nice, you're from Kentucky, I'm from Indiana. I lived in Indiana a raid. I was born in Louisville, so when I was a baby, my parents moved. You know how a lot of people live like across the river in Louisville. And yada yada. I've lived in California and Florida as well. To get ways to get rid of unwanted friends, talk about politics, or lend them money. Silent said, "That's funny, Silent." Yeah, I'm all over the place on my channel, and I know it's not everybody, like not for everybody, but I've just came to peace with the fact that like other people who are in tune, and I don't mean other people like me, but like other people who are okay with like varying topics, and like we were just saying, and if there's something that I make that you're not interested in, just don't watch it. But I know there's people that unsubscribe because they're like, oh, I thought this was a gardening channel, or I thought this was a politics channel and it's a gardening channel. So I do understand that, and I know it's not like the smartest thing for me to do is to be all over the place. But just so you know, my streams can be. Hi, BT, how are you? Solo Jeff said, I mean, racist. I don't know what your last comment was, so I'm going to look at it. Whole industry is witchcraft, human, different colored beings, hospital, hospice. Yeah, it is. I don't, oh gosh, don't get me started on, I have PCOS. It's a polycystic ovarian syndrome, most common cause of infertility. #1 cause of infertility in women in our country, at least. Super common condition. Trump is a liar, always was a liar. Yes, Gary, you're right. Meta is in Algeria. Is that what you're saying? How are you? Yes, Solo Jeff. Oh my God. Jeff. Zionists are evil. Hi from Venezuela. Hi, Jose. How are you? As a single dad, I worry a lot. These PDFs are everywhere. Yes, you have to be vigilant. You really, like, it's worse than any of us know, you know? I know people who live in Edinburgh. We are all dumb to believe that having a different person in power does anything. It's all corrupt. Caden, you're right. You're right. That is how I feel. I did think that there was something funny with the elections. I myself personally wouldn't have done the January 6th on my own accord. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel compelled to go do something like that. But I did understand why people were doing it. But like I don't think that that's right. But anyways, and like what do you really think is you're going to accomplish? It's just so much divisiveness. They want us all to fight so we don't stand together. You are doing the right thing, Pyramid said. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, Hope said. Hey, Joseph, how are you? The 90s, Rodney King, hello. Eugene, yes, there's always racism. It's America. Black people were slaves. But just to keep in mind, there was always people who were always against it. And that's what I'm trying to say. Not that there was literally none, but that the tides were changing and things were getting better than they are now. And that's just my opinion. And like I do feel bad saying that I say there's not like so many racist people, like people think in Kentucky. I've had people tell me they had experiences with racism in Kentucky. I'm not going to take that away from them, but it really isn't like it is in some parts of Kentucky. Trust me, I get it. Like, and I see a lawn jockey, it makes me mad. Like, I don't know, a black one. Some people have white ones. I guess I don't know about the Frankenstein stuff, but they definitely had cases where old lady's body was donated to just be exploded on a chair. That's so horrible, Caden. Yeah, look it up. Sabby Sabs did a video today, and they're just doing all sorts of like experiments and procedures and stuff, and like probably against I'm assuming maybe against like their religious practices. I just think it's so interesting. And if you guys don't know, there's so many horrible things I just don't even want to talk about. But if you're in the dark about what those IDF soldiers in particular do, this was a group of medical doctors. But I think, for their military, there's been some crazy stories. I'm just going to say one, just so because people that might not ever hear this, you need to know what's going on. There was a man who was wearing a mask who was raping a Palestinian person on video. He ends up like a week or two later, like taking off his mask to be like, oh, it's me. I'm proud of myself. And everybody's cheering him on over there. They cheer that stuff on. And then some of them, not all, but then some of them turn around and call us slang like goyim, meaning we're like animals. We're the ones that are like too concentrated on fleshy things. It's like, oh my gosh. That is super cool. Yeah, Edinburgh Outlet Mall is that. Oh yeah, I drove in that field before they built that mall. Legit, Mr. Carey said that's so cool. I love Edinburgh, but I much prefer Simpsonville Outlet. It's like 40 minutes outside of Louisville. Best outlet mall I've ever been to besides Sawgrass Mills Mall, which if you don't know what that is, I don't know if it's Miami or Fort Lauderdale, but it looks like an alligator. Like if you fly over it, it looks like a giant alligator. I don't know how much, it's at least like 2 miles long. Literally every store you can think of, every freaking store you could think of, even things like Saks Fifth Avenue and stuff I'd never seen in an outlet store. Anyways, but those were the days when we could go shopping. Donating body for money is prostitution, Blue Shirt. Well, I don't think they do it for money, though. But are you saying, like, somehow money is exchanged? I supported Trump since 2015 at 25, ever since the Epstein files in Iran and Israel situation. I left the MAGA movement, Araid said. Yes, good for you. Free Palestine, MJ said. I go to that mall at least once a month. What a small world. That's so cool, Araid. I've been there tons of times, too. My, what is that? Buble has throat pain for 6 years, 2 more months till I can see a doctor. I don't know what you mean, Dawn. What, are you in Canada or something? Hi, GC. How are you doing tonight? Yes, my mom moved us to Kentucky in 92, Carrie said. Hospital tried to help it. Oh, I'm sorry, Dawn. I keep wanting to call you Do. Whole industry is witchcraft. Yeah, they always give me steroids. Honestly, I've never taken them. I'm not giving any medical advice. It's just like, it seems to be the thing they throw at you. I'm sure sometimes it's legit, but it's like the thing they throw at you when they don't know what else to do. I have like 3 bottles of steroids, but like, once again, I'm not giving any medical advice, but it's just like, you look up the side effects and I'm like, I'd just rather like try to beat this, and then I'll take them if it drags on a little more, and it never does. I do agree. So are we still going on travel nursing? They only send them to high demand places that need them. Yes, because hi Sawdust, they don't treat the nurses that are there right. And there's lots of YouTubers speaking on this. Like the hours are horrible. The patient to nurse ratio is really bad. And it was just so many videos of nurses that just walk off the job because they're so overwhelmed. Like that can't be good for anybody. And I'm not saying like I couldn't do it. I couldn't have the fortitude physically and mentally to do everything a nurse does. And yeah, it's just like everything else. It used to be a good career. It used to be a higher paying job. Now with expensive schooling on top of everything else in the economy, it's not the way that it used to be unless you are a traveling nurse. And it's just, they have this saying, nurses eat their young. Like they're not that nice to each other. And I can't imagine having somebody just waltz through the door that doesn't live in the area, make way more than you, is conducive to like a good work environment. Like I personally wouldn't be mean to that person, but it would be in the back of my head that this person is making a lot more than me, To be frank, all jobs took a massive nosedive. Yes, Adam, it is interesting. And then the way that AI is like slowly but swiftly at the same time taking over. Oh, thank you, Gerard. That's nice. Hospital Hospice Soul said. California is a shithole, One Cup said. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, when stuff like that happens, it's like they do some progressive things, but I personally wouldn't want to live there. I think it's a very special place. Hi from Louisiana, Regina said. That's cool. How are you? Both my kids are in the medical field, Sawdust said. Oh, really? You must be proud of them. I couldn't imagine everything in the last few, and like it just seems like everything else is getting worse. People's mental health overall is getting worse. The things nurses have to deal with, and doctors, but it's just like these nurses, they're not asking for too much. They want like more safety. They want less of a nurse to patient ratio, probably like not such crazy hours. And it's just like so many other things. I think they do it to control them. They don't want nurses to feel like they have like any control. Yeah, it was just a field. I think it used to be a cornfield before the mall bought it and then put in McDonald's, etc. Legit. Carrie, Mr. Carey said, that's awesome, Mr. Carey. I lived all over Indy, so I'm familiar with Indiana. Do you like Brown County? I like Brown County and Monroe County. Those are my favorite places in Indiana. COVID vax hurt so many. Yes, One Cup is very unfortunate. So that's another thing I was thinking about, like when it comes to this new virus that like I'm not freaked out about, but I just have a feeling that it might turn into something. And I know this has happened with other viruses before. I just think it's really interesting. And they bring up vaccines a lot. There's no vaccine for this strain of hantavirus like there is for some others. But anyways, I think that people aren't going to be so willing to just like roll up their sleeve, or maybe with something with like a 30 to 40% fatality rate, they would be able to. Oh, Araid said I'm a truck driver, so I've traveled all over Kentucky, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio. That's cool, Araid. So you've only been over like that region? Because I like to ask truck drivers that have been in all the contiguous 48 states what the prettiest state is. Thank you for mentioning PCOS. I wanted to get back on that. PCOS is definitely a difficult condition to get pregnant. Yes, for some, Sawdust. Oh, thank you, Soul. I really appreciate you subbing and liking. Like I said, I am all over the place, but you seem pretty open-minded. I don't think you'll mind. John, forgive me, my friend. I'm trying to make a proper dinner. Oh, good for you, John. I hope that you have a great supper. What do you mean, Steve? Fuck, not fight. One Cup also thinking abortion, healthcare is so evil. Population control is ruining our humanity. Yeah, I get both sides with that, One Cup. I totally get both sides with that. That's a really difficult topic. GC, there were instigators put in place on January 6th. Of course, it's been denied, but there's too much evidence pointing toward agitator implants. Yeah, I do agree with that, GC, and like the way that they literally like just let down some barricades and like there's so much going on. I personally, like, I almost made a video about this. When I know I brought this up before. When Biden had his acceptance speech, it was so weird. It was like in a parking lot where the night before it was like the new Jeep pickup truck. It was new at the time. And it was like a Jeep pickup truck dealership. And then they moved the Jeeps trucks around a little bit the next night for his acceptance speech. And I'm like, this is the crowd of people that's here to like usher him in. That was so weird to me, but the way I just think that it's all contrived. There's no, I'd like to think maybe on local elections, the votes actually matter, but they're not going to let, and that's why, okay, so another thing I want to put in my Trump video, the way people talk about Kamala, they always say this about her. She was a qualified candidate. No, so I don't think she was horrible at speaking and like letting her thoughts out. I don't blame anybody for not putting faith in Kamala. Back in the 80s, we all thought Trump was a joke, calamity, Jake. Isn't that interesting? I think that it's a sign of how people are just like indoctrinated with the media, and also just literally genuinely hoping that there would be a change from somebody who wasn't a career politician, because that's how I felt. And I don't fault anybody for saying, your name's Little Baby. How are you, Little Baby? I'm Mexican American, so I got hated a lot by my own people, but I supported Trump for the sole purpose of no more wars and rebuilding America. All right. Yeah. Lots of Hispanics supported him. And I know it's like, Soul Talmud is kind of gnarly. Yes, Soul. All right. I want to make videos talking about this on my channel. The problem is 80% of my followers speak Spanish and 20% speak English, so I may risk it and make videos about this. Oh, cool. if you comment, I'll follow. It's hard for me to find your channel just looking for your screen name, but like if you leave a comment in the comment section on this video or one of my posts, if you want me to follow you, I want to. I'm with Arrayed. Why wouldn't someone want to have a good life with a secure future? GC said. Yeah, and he went back on all that, like Mexico never paid for the wall. Where's the wall now? There's just so many things. Hey, Edge of South, how are you doing? I just saw your comment. I scrolled way too far up. I'm with you. Where did I read that? I truly wonder how they find such evil and smart people to do all this stuff to us. Imagine being a person in a lab being told you need to make a virus and ticks what makes people allergic to red meat. Kaden, I agree. I think it's just like anything else. There's good and bad people, but when it comes to some fields, it's like it's totally extreme. And I think nursing is one of those. Like you have to be a saint in a human body. It was seriously like an angel to be a good nurse. Like I've had some nurses that like I still think about their care and how they were there for me. This nurse when I had my first baby, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. They are the most amazing human beings. Or it's like the opposite. It's the polar opposite. It's like, why do you have this job? Do you hate people? Why do you want to take care of people for a living if you obviously like hate people? It's like that with scientists. There's like good people that have hearts of gold that genuinely want to help. I know somebody who said, I have a 5-year-old severely autistic little brother, and I want to I'm going to be a therapist because I want to help people like him. They're motivated by things like that happen in their life. They're truly empathetic. But then there's the other side to it where they seriously have like a God complex. They're freaking psychopaths. It has to be the people that can walk into a building with hundreds of innocent beagles or whatever animal and just be okay with these animals spending their lives in a cage and getting experimented on. Stuff like that. Ugh. It's not explainable. And then sometimes I think it may be that like alien stuff would make sense, whether they're from a different planet, they come through in a different dimension, they're from a different timeline and they time travel, whatever. There's like other influence that has nothing to do with this place right here now, really, and that's why it's so easy for them to come in and do. But of course, obviously, they're like working with people. Catholics drink in the open, Baptists drink on the back porch, Darren said. Thank you so much, Mr. Carey. You're such a good mod. My username on my channel is the Black Diamond. Also, I'm subbing this channel in yours. Thank you, Arrayed. The Black Diamond. Hold on. Is that not your channel, the one that you're commenting from? Or what's your channel's name? What's wrong with getting jacked? HSL said, nothing's wrong with it. California is another country, Darren said. Who cares if folks drink? Christ's first miracle was water to wine. God gave us 10 commandments written in stone. Try to master those before demanding more rules of others, or just master the golden rule. I like your sentiment right there, AJ. And I know I can come off as quite judgmental with some of the stuff that I make, but I hope it is obvious that like when it comes to, it really takes a lot. If you hurt children, okay, I think you're, a demon, but it takes a lot for me to like not like somebody. Please don't fart on the cat. Okay. That's funny you said that. She loved me. Because I was like really gassy earlier. What is mommy talking about, DLC? Oh, all sorts of stuff. So let's talk about PCOS now that I'm almost at the bottom of the chat because they changed the name. Hi from Louisiana as well, Edge said. The hantavirus is Hebrew meaning fake virus. Google it. I did Google it, and honestly, I don't think I found everything that popped up. I didn't look that hard, but it was like, this is, it was all like saying it's not true, but I've seen lots of people say that. West Virginia is the most beautiful state, in my opinion. That's what everybody says. I swear to God, everybody says that. But like one time in the chat, somebody said, gosh, now I'm not going to be able to remember. I think it was like it was like South Carolina or something. But that is so funny that you said that. I bet there's somebody, maybe not, but like I really have said that a lot. I'll check you, Red Grant. I've got research papers turning into the National Center for Public Awareness. If I have the name right, it's a societal research that passed potential for legislation, GC said. Good for you. Bartholomew County and Johnson County, Indiana, and Bloomington, Indiana, when I was younger, went swimming there, Mr. Carey said. Trust God. Good night. First time doing this. Not sure I'll ever do it again. TTS is real. I don't understand how anybody could support Trump after him saying that he's not releasing the Epstein files, which he ran on, that he wasn't starting another forever war. He literally said, they're going to get you in a war with Iran, not me. And now look, and he said the other day, I don't care about Americans' financial situations. That thought does not weigh on my mind at all. This is all about the nuclear weapons, which we were literally talking to them about. Like they were saying, no, we don't, but they were being cordial enough to have, what is the word I'm looking for? And then we just start bombing them and killing their people. It's a miracle anybody hasn't done more to us. I guess it's because we do have such a strong military, but it's like we wouldn't want anybody to treat us the way that we treat other countries. And people that support Trump still, they're the ones that are delusional. You're deluded if you don't think what he's doing is like horrible and using our tax dollars to do it. He's using our money to help Israel bomb. And I just, it's like he said, he could shoot somebody in the street and he would still have followers. He would still have people rooting him on. He is right. It's happening right now. We're going to literally have to be, and I've said this before, sorry for repeating myself, but we'll be crawling through the rubble of the wreckage, and there'll still be people saying, Trump's the best president we ever had, because the cognitive dissonance is so bad, they can't think of anything else. They can't really realize, no, this is the next to the Great Depression, if not worse. The way they count like recession measures, like the way they inflation, the things they count and stuff, it's stupid. By any real measures, we are in a big period of inflation. There was hyperinflation from all the money printed from COVID, and maybe it's slightly calmed down, but now it's like, yes, there's always inflation. This is hyperinflation. Trump is ruining our food will be 2 to 3 times as much as it is now because we're heading on that track. And there will still be people buying $10 loaves of bread talking about how Trump is the best president we ever had, even though they're literally spending more for literally everything. They're dousing our national forests in glyphosate. Yes, they're putting glyphosate in national forests. You want to know why? Not because they actually care about maintaining the land, because they're going to harvest the trees. And so they want the biggest trees possible and less competition with the weeds. It's just so ridiculous. This is all like I don't want to be mean to somebody that might be going through something, but like I don't understand at all how anybody can support Trump. He's making us look ridiculous all over the world. It is going to take years, if ever, to get back to where we were. But thanks, GC. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I'm glad. I'm glad we're losing the hold we had in the ways we did, because we didn't deserve it. And we do need less power. We do need to be put in our place. And that's why I look at Trump as like, it was meant to be. This was meant to happen here and now. So I'm not, oh, that's such a pretty butterfly. Thank you, Adam. So I'm not like boo-hooing over Trump. It's like, wow, we're going through this. This is our president. This is what's happening. Everything's about to get significantly worse, guys, with the way that things are happening between the drought and the diesel fuel cost and the fertilizer costs. It's really, really, really bad. I don't think anybody is going to think that he's like not the greatest president because they've already put their feet down so much about it. Caden, thank you. I've done my research. Trump is cucked by Jews. I totally agree, Caden. And okay, I'm going to speak for Caden for a little bit, but like when we talk like that, we're talking about the Zionist demonic Kabbalah Jews, not all Jews, right? Like not 100% of Jews. I can't stress that enough. And we're not going to let anybody try to peg that stuff on us anymore. No, that's ridiculous. They're cheering on their soldiers raping people. Like these people are evil. I don't think it's all of them. No, not at all. I'm sure a lot of them are just as horrified at that. And like I said, I understand questioning anybody. Oh, I'm not sad. I've been gardening all day. I feel great. Can you imagine if Kamala was president? It would have been a clear sign to never let a woman president be. Yeah, Kate, and I think there was a lot better, like, they knew Bernie Sanders would have been a shoo-in. It's not for the people. They don't want anybody who's for the people. She is such an obvious puppet. I don't see how she's qualified. I'm sorry. She just seemed like the worst person that they could have picked. And it was kind of like, Hillary, I think Hillary was a better debater, but she would do that like cackling shit, that pissed me off. I'm like, no, I don't want the first female president to be somebody that like laughs like that. You know what I mean? Pisses me off. I love coming to Lucky Lydia's live stream. We all get to speak like adults, Stacey said. Oh, that's so sweet. That's such a nice compliment. Thank you. The name of my channel is called The Great Justice Era with the Black Diamond. Okay, I'm going to try to find that if you don't leave me a comment. That seems like I should be able to find. Kaden, you're smarter than most women, but you lose a lot of people whenever you talk about aliens controlling the government. It's just evil people. Oh, I don't say that I think for sure it's aliens. I just think it's possible. Like, and what I said earlier was about like technology, and I think it's happened before. Like when they found these things 2,000 years ago, they had this kind of battery we didn't know they had back then. I think maybe they helped them make the pyramids, carve the precise stones that fit together, like things we couldn't do now. That's what I think, like when something's like otherworldly. But I mean, I'm open-minded, but I totally think that there's a shadow government like JFK. Sorry, I'm not going to play with my hair. JFK said about, and that's the Bohemian Grove, stuff like that. They definitely have their little secret society shit. And it's like the Rockefellers and people like that who really like own the world legit. And they took away everything that we could use to like, or they tried to. I have this book that talks about homeopathy hospitals. They used to publish their results. Google it. Are you telling me to Google it about the Hunta thing? Just build. Is that chicken broth? No, it's tea. Chemtrails, Zach said. Yes, I believe in chemtrails, or persistent contrails is the scientific term for it. That'll make you sound a little bit more sciencey. That is so true. This is the new Great Depression. Trump betrayed America. Yes. And that's why I think it's like going. So our debt was spinning out of control. And this was like, even before Trump became president the first time, our debt was becoming unsustainable. But especially like the last 10 years, I don't know how many trillion it got to the point where there's like no point turning back, or there's no way. But that's what I believe. This is like a controlled demolition. They knew everything was unsustainable. They're making as much money as they can on the way out. And I can't explain it beyond that. But he is going crazy, Lee said. I defended Trump for 10 years as well until June 21st, where he proved to be Bush 3.0. Rhett. What was June? How are you, Rhett? What was June 21st? Was that the Epstein files stuff? What's that? Build that wall, UFO said. Mousy is the last hope, I guess. Yes, Rhett. And it doesn't surprise me that he is a Kentuckian. I mean that like that's what they want to do, put in our place warrior. Do you have a channel? I like your name. Thank you, Lee. 1776, America fought for independence. Agree against Britain. Yes. America is being ruled by Israel. Yes, I do really care, Lee. And I do agree, rates that America is being ruled by Israel. It's so obvious. And anybody who doesn't, I just don't understand what Trump has to do to prove. He literally said he doesn't. If you don't know what I'm talking about, somebody asked him in regards to the war in Iran, how does he feel about how people are struggling? People are struggling. I know chances are 45 people watching right now. Chances are a good 20, probably 25, 30 of you are behind on bills. There's no shame in that. And like, we don't want to talk about it because we have too much pride, but it's like, it's bad. It's not just like, oh, this happens sometimes. You need like a new set of tires and you're like put back for a little bit and then you like work some more hours and get ahead again, right? No, this is like a hole that we keep falling in more and more. It's just getting worse and worse. I don't understand how like, I hate to say it, but I think that it is going to get to the point really soon where people are genuinely suffering. People talking about people stealing from their gardens already. You thought I was Jewish. We're definitely in for hard times for years to come. It's going to get bad, bad. Yes, public. All I hear is moaning. When we had a chance to stand up for this country a decade ago, nobody did, UFO said. We are in a funny time, Lee said. Yes, I agree. I don't want to upset anybody here, but I like the way he's running his administration. It's strong and forceful, and whether you agree with me or not, my belief is we needed this. But what has been something that was good? You know what I mean? Because even the stuff that I was excited about, like the Make America Healthy Again stuff, then they sign in that bill to make more glyphosate here. It's like, come on. Like, they don't do anything that they say, real Jack, what am I lying about? Trump is kind of cute, right? James said, no, no. I saw the funniest meme where it's like him asleep and then a monkey asleep. You know what I mean? And somebody made the funniest joke. They're like, the monkey's more human than our president. Warrior, Trump was the one that got the vaccines over here. He would have pushed them regardless, Rhett said. Yes. And that's one reason I liked him initially. He spoke out about vaccines. Before he ran, he did. And that's one of the real, wow, who speaks out about vaccines, especially back then, what, like, 2000, whatever, 16, and it was like so much more taboo before all this COVID stuff, because that's what has to happen to people. They have to suffer the consequences themselves. And myself included, it had to happen to me. I had to get sick and realize, like, okay, this is more than 1 in a million. For some reason, they take a bite of each, and Adam said, you feel lucky? Zuckerberg said, yes, I do. I feel blessed. And I used to think it was cheesy when people said that they felt like God's favorite, but I think that that's a goal everybody should have every day. You should have something in your life that makes you feel like God's favorite. When you accomplish it, you know what I mean? It should be like fulfilling, something you do. No doubt you have plenty to disagree with in our present state, but things will work out. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm proven wrong and everything was meant to be like this. Sad eyes, Trump said. I posted on your newest short array, Carrie said. Why is Bill Gates not in jail? He literally makes ticks and mosquitoes to kill people and admitted that he wanted to decrease the population on a TED Talk. Yeah, Caden, it's just because it's an oligarchy and the people who have the most money are at the top, and that's why it should have never been allowed. Like, I just don't think that anybody earns billions of dollars. Warrior, all you guys who say Trump is bad and this and that, just before he was president, we were even closer to World War III. He stood up for us. Warrior said, do you remember the last time we made a virus that crashed the global economy and set back society for centuries to come? Want to see us do it again? Rhett said. Yeah, I think it's weird how much they're covering all of this, and it's just so convenient. We look back in a few months and are like, yeah, it started on a cruise ship. Like, how convenient. America's with God, Warrior said. Milwaukee, Trump is a fake Christian. Why didn't he put his hand on the Bible when he took oath? Because he's clearly a satanic Zionist who is making Israel great again first. I do agree with that, Milwaukee. 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 That's funny. Rhett, June 21st was his first strike on Iran, Operation Midnight Hammer. He used the excuse Iran shall not have a nuclear weapon like the WMD speech. He thanked Bibi first and foremost, which told me a lot. Thank you for reminding me of that, because like I forget about that a lot. I focus so much on what's happening in the last few months. People were struggling worse before Trump, and perplexed will be struggling after Trump. People will be struggling after Trump. Well, I don't agree, Warrior. As a blue collar worker, we have been pretty much in the same boat income wise for like a good almost 20 years now, and things are definitely harder, way harder. Healthcare is spiraled out of control. It's so now, even the clinic that used to be $25 sliding scale, now it's $80 this year. It's just like it's thing after thing. There was some leaked memo. AutoZone said, it's allegedly, warning, there's going to be an oil shortage soon, and like ways their stores were going to prepare for it. Stuff is getting so bad. Trump is the biggest con man ever. Big late. Caden, thank you. Bill Gates said he wants to decrease the population. Caden said, yes. And I totally believe that was like a Freudian slip. Like he meant, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, there was I don't remember word for word, but he said something like one of the ways we can improve. He said something about decreasing the population with vaccines. And what he meant with that, this is what people spin it, was, well, people have less babies in the third world countries when they get vaccinated because they don't feel like they have to have baby after baby because their babies die more. I'm like, if he did mean that, he should have went into that point. We can just do like the Greeks, subtract a zero when inflation gets too bad, Tornado said. Tornado Garden to you. I love all these garden names. Yeah, and Bill Gates said that during Biden's term, Warrior said. I love all the gardens in the chat. I don't like any of them. They've all been severely disappointing. Obama disappointed me. Everybody's disappointed me. And that's why I think none of them are there for the average person. It's set up for rich businessmen. They're all rich businessmen. This country's always been set up like that. Thank you, Mr. Carey. I also narrate American history about the Reconstruction era. That's so cool, Rain. Am I saying, Is it Arade? Am I saying your name completely wrong? I am, aren't I? Randy, my SUV only held $30 of gas with Biden and Trump. It holds $75 of gas, better with Trump, Randy said. That's funny. Seriously, some people's thought processes have to be the way some of these people think. People need to stop counting in a president and try to make your own life better. I do agree with that, warrior. Yes. Ephesians 5:22, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. And then what does it say about the way husbands are supposed to treat their wives? Notice how that's always left out. Anybody who brings that up, they never say the part about how the husband's supposed to love the wife like Christ loved the church. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that funny? And do you really think that most husbands love their wives like that? And I'm not saying most wives are as good as they could be, but I'm just saying. Louise, okay, let's start with Bill Gates' whole family first, Louise. Politicians, government equals criminals. I agree, Lee. It's just another big grift and big oil. The petrodollar is kaput. Yes, tornado. Exactly. Thank you for saying that, Lee said. We need allies in the Mideast, guy. This is what boils down to with Israel. There's religious connections, but strategically they are an important ally. Well, I mean, if that helps you sleep at night, but I don't agree with that. We're the ones that fund their whole existence. How are they our ally when they're literally like a parasite? We literally pay for like their little $1,000 or whatever, their little savings they get when they turn 18 or whatever. We fund everything for it. They have free health care. We give them our tax dollars. I'm sorry, GC. I think you're more logical than that. He is a satanic Zionist. Haha, said. I agree. Thank you, JS. Look at the maggots lying. No, we weren't near World War III. Yeah, Joe, I agree. I don't think we were ever this close to World War III. I think we'll look back and we'll say this is World War III. I hate to say it, but like with everything going on in Ukraine the past few years and now this, and I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. America has a lot of dark history, but also a lot of bright history, like Madam Walker, the first Black American woman who became a millionaire, and she was from India. I visit her place all the time. That's so cool. Oh, I bet that's such a nice home. I would love to go there. And so what I started to say earlier was like, I know there's always been racist people. There's always been people against it. And one place I want to go to so bad is in Newport, Kentucky. It's the Levi Coffin House. There was always people who were against slavery. Once again, this is like, the bar is so low. I'm not even saying these people were so great. This is just the way people should be. Even back in like the 1800s, during the Civil War, they had a general store where they refused to sell anything that came from plantations who had slaves. There was always people, there was always white people, there was always Americans who stood against slavery and were like against that shit. And who really think about it, who was for it the most? It was like the rich people, the rich plantation owners, and then the people who wanted to be in proximity to power, and they think that they might be rich one day too if they just keep kissing the rich people's asses. And I think that's what a lot of people think about Trump, and it's sad. I mean, could you imagine if Biden had the scam like with the phone? If you didn't hear, he took $100 from a bunch of people saying that there was going to be this gorgeous gold phone made in the USA. They completely backtracked on all of that. The way they're scamming with like crypto and stuff, I couldn't imagine if Biden and his family did anything like that. Oh my gosh. And anybody who supports Trump knows I'm right. If you are honest enough with yourself and you can have a break from your ego long enough to really sit with the thought, what if Biden did all this stuff that Trump and his family are doing? You would see it for the corruption that it is. Absolutely. Look how many friends Israel fights extreme Islamists. They're on their home front. You know, they have to take over the world agenda. GC, yeah, I know that's what we've been like conditioned to think. And I've said on my channel before, I personally wouldn't want to live in a town where there's like the call to prayer. And I know what that sounds like, but it's like, I don't want to be where there's like a saturation of one kind of religion besides Christianity. That's just how I feel. And it's probably because I'm conditioned to it and I've grown up around it. And I don't think it's like I'm right. But like, yeah, I wouldn't purposely move to wherever in Michigan they're doing that or whatever. But I don't think they're bad people. And I think that when they're not extremists, like the average Muslim is very similar to like a good Christian, you know, like the average Christian isn't really a good Christian. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But I think that I have a copy of the Quran, and I've said it before. It is a little creepy the way they talk about offing unbelievers in like every other page. But I personally don't think that Muslims walk around unless they're the extremists, and we fund them. You need to like really like look into who's funding these Middle Eastern terrorists. It's always us or Israel or some. It's like it's ridiculous. Where do you think they get the ability to terrorize and commit so many crimes? And that's Trump even said that we gave the guns. Well, the people that were supposed to give the protesters the guns didn't give them the guns. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Biden was like, we tried to give their protesters guns, but they didn't, the Kurds took them. Is that what he said? I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe he didn't say the Kurds, but that's true. In June, I heard rumors about shortage of gas. I don't know if you ever said if I'm saying your name completely wrong or not. You're just being nice. You're not going to acknowledge it because you're being nice. It goes to show people are stuck at the idea of Trump like we were from 2021 to 24. It's like the Buffalo Bills fans, too much opium, too much copium. I agree, Rhett. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I can't help. Like, I feel so strongly. That's what I was saying. I like draw some really strong lines. And like, it's not that I can't support a Trump supporter, but like, if you are going to, yeah, I can't support a Trump supporter. Yeah, no, that is it. If you are going to support Trump after all of this, you just like stay neutral. You don't talk about it. I can support somebody like that is going to like not take a side publicly. But if you sincerely support the 173 girls that got killed while they were at school, on top of all the other, and you're going to turn around and be like, but they're the terrorists. It's like, who's terrorizing who? And I believe 911 was an inside job. No, I don't believe that people who barely learned to fly flew those planes into a building. That would be so hard. And thousands of people, including engineers and pilots themselves, signed a petition saying like, no, this didn't happen the way that they said that it did. People that know way more about like the building's structural integrity and things than the average person. And I totally believe that was the start of it. That was the start of it. And when I was a little girl, I grew up on a college university campus, and there were extreme Muslims. They were the only people that isolated themselves from the rest of us, wouldn't let their kids play with us. And once again, those were the extremists. And the older I got and the more Muslims I met that didn't like wear the, and I think you should be able to dress however the fuck you want, but you know what I mean? Like, I do feel for women that can only show their eyes, and some of them can't even show their eyes. Like, that is insanity. I will always feel bad for people that don't know what it feels like to feel the sun on their skin, on your back, on your legs. I built a vegetable garden in my front yard with tornado debris, hence the name Tornado Garden. Oh, that's so cool. Did you make a channel out of it? It's crazy. They wanted to kill us with disease and virus. I don't want to die so young. I still need to find my Guerra. I'm horrible at Spanish, and I should know. I'm a quarter Colombian, and I tried so hard. I'm so white when it comes to Spanish. So conjugating verbs is hard for me. George Washington had quitters in the Revolutionary War too, and he called them Kentucky. JM, that was pretty funny. Play Freebird. Oh, that is a good song, Steve. No, he literally said he wants to decrease the population, started making synthetic burgers and made a virus and ticks that makes you feel allergic to red meat. Yeah, if I'm thinking of the thing you're talking about, he said vaccines will help improve by, and he literally said decreasing population. I was like rattling stuff off, and it's like, totally weird thing to say. Netanyahu wages war to assume emergency powers to stay in office. Dictatorship 101. Yes, Rhett. Who knows what's going to happen soon here? Who else is going to help the elite launder money edge, right? Yes, champ, I don't smoke like I used to. I vape right now, but excuse me, I did, but I'm not encouraging it. I would worry about like fentanyl. Like now there is medical in Kentucky, and I tell myself like one day I'm going to try to get a card because that would be fun. Indians are not black, Dwight said. Who said they were? I think sometimes, no, I think that some black people are more Indian than they realize. But now with all like the DNA tests we have and stuff, you know, that should be more easy to concern. Not that I would trust any of that. Hi from Milan, Panzer said. That's so cool. How are you? That's right. The amount of people that own slaves is a very small percentage, and the largest slave owner was actually a black man, Jacob said. Yes, I've heard that before too. Also, isn't it funny how the entire idea of Musk buying Twitter was to reinstate Trump, just for Trump to never use it and instead launch his own social media echo chamber? Yes, Rhett. I haven't thought about that in a while, but you're so right. I love Kentucky. Thomas Massey represents the awesome people of Kentucky. Yes, he really does. There's a lot of people. That's what I've tried to explain to you guys. I think there's more good people per capita. I do. Good people in the like live and let live. Like they care about their neighbors, but they're not out to get each other, compete with each other. Are you serious? You didn't know about the cancer thing that Joe Biden and his wife raised $11 million, not a dollar, went to research? Jacob, I never said that Biden wasn't corrupt, but like people call that stuff out. You know what I mean? How many millions? Trump dropped the lawsuit, but he was trying to get our tax money from the IRS, $1 billion. Any president that really cared about his country, I don't think would have done that shit. I don't. What do you think if Elon Musk becomes president? Patil said, oh my gosh. There'll definitely be robots and other people running the show then, because he's like incompetent. I don't think he's a genius. I think he's stolen other people's ideas and put his name on their patents. He's the modern day Thomas Edison. He just took other people's patents when they expired. And he even did that with Tesla. When he bought the company, he said, I'm going to make me a founder. You don't do that. You don't buy a company and then turn into a founder of it. And like the way he said he's an engineer after reading books, this is the downfall of our society, why this earth is slowly going to shit. But I do believe it's going to renew itself. And I don't mean it like, as nihilistic as it sounds. People like that having the most control and the most power. And like, look at what it turns into. He has such a big ego. It's all about him. And anybody who like sincerely was a good person wouldn't even, nobody's earned $1 billion. And if you can earn $1 billion, then all the people in Africa that walk a 7-mile round trip with a 5-gallon bucket of water on their heads every day, they'd be millionaires. You know what I mean? There's plenty of us that work hard. No, it isn't the harder you work, the more money you make, unfortunately. Or a lot of us would be a lot better off, And that's part of the downfall. Letting him get away with calling himself an engineer, like shit like that. No, that should have never been something that society perpetuated. Elon Musk is an engineer because he read some books. Because the good engineers didn't want to work for SpaceX. He said this. The good engineers he wanted to work on SpaceX didn't want to work with him. So he had to become his own engineer. And it's not him caring about anything. He saw there's government grants, there's government contracts. I mean, when it comes to space exploration, I got to get me in on that. And then Bezos, oh my gosh. And it's like literally we live in a movie. $60 million total dollars grifted on that pre-order phone scheme. I didn't even know it was that much, Tornado. Or the amount of shell companies they had with wire transfers all back and forth fraud, Jacob said. Yes, I definitely think it's us versus the owning class. And when I say that, I don't mean that to incite any violence at all. I don't think that anybody should do anything like burning down warehouses. That's just not going to help us in the long run. I liked watching Thomas Massey attempt to dap up people at the party. He looks so engaged with the youth. Rhett said, you're all wrong about Trump. He's not a politician. He doesn't care about polls. All he wants to do is create a dynasty. And for that, you need $1 trillion on family assets. I agree with the prices of groceries and other things. My eating habits have drastically changed, but the bottom line is it's not a perfect world. Yes, GC. And like I said, I'm open to like, this was all going to implode, but I still don't think it's right. And like for him to be like, I don't care about people's financial situation, because he's never known what it's like to really be in dire straits. He's never known that. And that's why it's like, to even run for presidency, you have to have so many millions of dollars, for the campaigning. So it's the average person, what really needs to happen. So I had my first day of my new job this last week. I'm going to talk about PCOS soon. I'm so sorry. But it's nice talking to you guys. So I don't care. I had a good first day. It was kind of like micro dirty jobs. Most of it's fine, but there's like one job, but it only needs to be done once a week. That's like tough, but not too tough for me. But that's why it's good. It pays as well as it does, obviously. And basically it's like a small company that cleans, they get contracts with factories to clean the factories, right? Or parts of the factory, not the whole thing. And like certain machines and everything. And when it comes to manufacturing, like if one thing goes off, if a machine isn't clean enough, you could ruin thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in minutes. You know what I mean? A product because somebody didn't clean something off right. So, anyways, I don't want to say too much about it, but basically, it's like the owner of the company will step in and work when they need it. Like they really want to get some local people on this job. And I would much rather, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for quitting Amazon for a few weeks because I just worked at Amazon for the fourth time a month or two ago. And I would much rather work for somebody who comes in and gets on the floor and does the job himself when need be, who doesn't have too much pride to do that, who will like literally work beside the employees. I'd much rather work in a business like that. That's just like how I always want to be. When the lady at Amazon, when I told her that I got a text message about my direct deposit being messed up, and she's like, "Oh, you need to go to HR," and I'm like, "They're never there." And she's like, "You need to go on your break." And I was like, "No, I'm quitting." How about that? It's soul sucking, and my heart is with anybody that works for Amazon. I'm not looking down on you. I understand all the reasons why it is a good job. Trust me, I get it. I'm Catholic and I respect every religion as long as they don't oppress people. Israel isn't one promoting supremacy. They are the chosen ones. Yes, I agree. They think they are. The average Muslim is not a good person, Caden said. Oh, you think that, Caden? That's sad. I've met lots of people who were really good examples of, and like I said, I think the extremists ruin it for everybody else in the group. People should focus on going to the moon, I feel, Patel said. Yes, I cook. I can cook really good. Or, I think so. Kate and Sunni are shite. I don't know, Lee. Did Bush eat rice? Bush almost choked to death on a pretzel, Russ said. They can wear whatever. Yeah, but some of them are, some of them are in places where they can't wear whatever. I'd rather them only show the good parts, Rivers. Yes, George W. Bush ate rice, famously preferring a Tex-Mex version called President's Rice from a restaurant in Houston. Carrie, you're so funny. Who is Joe Rogan's sidekick that he's always asking him to like look stuff up? That's like what you are, Carrie. Like nobody is making them wear anything, Mercury said. Yes, Mercury. In some places, they are literally quite made to wear things. Do you not understand the laws in some of these countries? And once again, it's not the Middle Eastern people being horrible people. It was people like us in Great Britain infiltrating and toppling down the progression that they had. They were all wearing bell bottoms and bikinis at the beach and stuff in the 70s. And the places now where women aren't allowed to drive or like I think speak in public even. And it's on the tip of my tongue. The get up where it's like just your hair. Habib? That's not it. But anyways, and then there's the whole outfit. I used to know these words. I speak French as well. Oh, that's so cool. Arade. I think I am the logic on this, Lydia. You forgot to read where they have been doing all the fighting against the Islamic extremists. If it weren't for Israel, Iran would have that nuclear bomb. I don't believe that, GC. And I do think that you're respectful. I don't want to disrespect you, but I think you're a little brainwashed, honestly. And all of this, a global economy being affected because they thought they had a nuke. And what they're doing, I think Iran should have a nuke. I don't, why is it okay for Israel and US and whoever else has them? Why is it okay for only them to have them? Us terrorize the other country in the name of them having something that we have. That makes no logical sense to me. It makes none unless you're a white supremacist who thinks that the Middle Eastern people who happen to be more olive-skinned and brown don't deserve the same freedoms and liberties. And like Israel just walks in there, 48, 47, saying, hey, this is our country. I'm sorry. I just think that is so ridiculous. So obvious what is going on. And nobody that supports, you're supporting a ethnic cleansing and a genocide. And I've had people be like, what genocide are you talking about? It's like, come on, I'm sorry. I don't have to argue with you on this. I do believe there's a special place in whatever hell is. I don't think it's like an eternal place, but did you see that string on my mouth? I'm sorry. when somebody passes away and they've been a horrible person, they suffer certain consequences for it. And I'm not saying you're a horrible person to GC or anything like that, but if you have lived years on this planet during this and you walk around saying what genocide, or like if you really think it's okay, I can't explain it to you any other way than like you really, and this is what makes me a good wife, a good friend, good in any way. You have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Would it be okay if they did this to us? Could you imagine them just like coming after us and bombing the shit out of us because we do have nukes and they don't believe in that? It's like, oh my gosh. And I doubt you've seen the videos that Iran has made. Maybe you have, GC, but Iran has said some stuff where they're like, we know it's not the American people and like it's your government that is so horrible. Then why does Israel get to have nuclear bombs unchecked? Rhett said. Hi, Javier. How are you doing? It doesn't matter who you vote for, Mercury. I agree, Mercury. They're both the same. These nuclear bombs today are 100 times the power of the bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, GC said. Yes, and I just don't think, and I'll never think, and there's no way you can convince me, so we can just like agree to disagree, that there is any excuse to do what we're doing to Iran. Not, and the negotiations, we were talking about it. They were saying, yeah, okay, we won't have nukes, and like, I don't know what people want from them, but I think it's really sad, and maybe if you stick around, we'll see. GC. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. Like I admitted about Trump. I made fun of women who were concerned about their birth control and like birth control apps. You know what I mean? Or like period tracking apps. And I'm like, that is so silly. That is so silly. And now like I was the one who looked past too much. I was wrong about that. With women getting in trouble for, the things they're getting in trouble for. I totally understand now why women were, and I've always been pro-life, but man, I've actually become more pro-choice lately because of the things going on to women. Because if you're not pro-choice, you're choosing women that have natural miscarriages, possibly dying from not getting the treatment they needed because it's considered part of an abortion. I don't understand how that became a thing other than we just like hate women and we can't have a doctor help write the laws. Hi, Star Wars. How are you? 5G came almost exactly the same time, Lee said. Oh, yeah, and lockdown turned many crazy. I forgot about that, but you are right. Ah, yes, identity politics, because we can't actually have diverse opinion. We have to choose which side closest represents what we believe in. It's like choosing a gender. Rhett said, Google sucks. Democrats are generous with other people's money, especially if there's a way to somehow direct it right back to themselves. I think both sides are like that, Google. And like I always said, I lean towards the right. I understand just looking at the state of democratic cities, and I want to put this in my Trump video. Like I do understand somebody be like, I'm not a huge fan of democratic policies. And like, what good does it do? Obamacare totally fucked our whole lives up. No, it really did. We had that concierge pediatrician who was helping my kids out more than any other doctor's ever helped my kids. And because of fucking Obamacare, we literally left the state of Florida because we couldn't afford health care. My husband's job was through a place. It was like going to be more money. Like we could have paid for it. It would have been literally all the money we had left over because he was making decent money. But then to pay for four people's health care at the time, the plans and stuff were ridiculous. We literally left Florida because of Obamacare, forcing us into healthcare. And the only time I ever did get Obamacare insurance, and it was in Indiana, and it was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible experience. So I just like, because I don't care. They will strip you of your religion, and if you don't accept theirs, if they have power, you don't get to live, and that's all there is to it. Let's get off the subject. OGC, but really think about what you're saying. Who is forcing anybody to do anything? And how can you justify Israel, what they're doing in Lebanon? Like these, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you at all. And like I said, I've seen extremists, and I understand they aren't great. I was mocked for saying that Obama even knew about Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. Now the Obama Presidential Center merch store is literally selling it. Unbelievable, Google sucks said. If you put 25% of the work he did, you would need a millionaire, Star Wars said. Do you mean me, B? And these shootings are 1,000,000% distractions from them releasing the rest of the files. Also, funny how they say 3 million is half of it, meaning there are 6 million files. Funny number, 6 million. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not like 33 million, right? 33. Maybe it's 6 million and 33. Why are our taxes farming this? I don't know, Jenny, but that's what gets to me the most too. Nicholas Tesla wrote books were plagiarized by Elon Musk, Lee said. Unfortunately, we will need to burn corporate businesses down. Yeah, Molotov, I understand the sentiment, but I don't think that, like, I saw this guy taking down flock cameras, I think in the UK, and that's what Disturbing Illusion, he has a great channel, that's what he said. If there was like 100,000 people willing to do this, like we have to have such numbers that it would, but that's I hate to be so such a Debbie Downer, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. People aren't ever going to like stand together like that. And I'm not saying that they should, but so he's the one that engineered the Cybertruck. Edge said, yes, exactly. Jorge, I think I better be an alcoholic and just do cocaine at this point. Fuck this life, like literally. Jorge, hey, I would say, how are you doing if you're still in here, Jorge? But it sounds like you're not doing good. I'm sorry. Cocaine always made me, like, the few times I did it, made me feel horrible, like coming down from it. I don't like to feel bad. Because of substance. You know what I mean? Like in that way. Oh my God, I didn't mean cunny. I meant funny. I know, right? I figured that. Jorge, if you're still in here, I get you. Like seriously, it's I brought up a few times. Like it's so stressful and everything's stressful. One of our 2 cars check engine light came on. It's like it's always something. She never worked in a factory. Who are you talking about, Jenny? The elites have access to books only few ever see with mind-blowing ideas, Lee said. I totally believe, like when they talk about the Library of Alexandria being burnt down, well, they took the select stuff. They probably wasn't that much stuff lost as they said it. Well, that's what I think. Why would a manager work next to their direct reports, Charles said. Whatever factory she came from needs to be shut down for being an environmental hazard. Plus a theory that can be applied, Lee said. Wait, do you actually know about world religions? Charles said. I know about as much as the average person. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but like I said, I have a copy of the Quran. I have interest in world religions. Whoever just said that, he clearly never heard about the atrocities committed by the morality police, Edge said. Hijab, thank you, Molotov. Oh my God, I'm so far back. Courtney Riley, I think the earth is round, but I do think there's something they're hiding. Like I'm believing the hollow earth theory. I think there's something going on. And they've even said that it's slightly oblong, so like to be technical, it's not like a perfect sphere probably, but yeah, I think they're lying to us about something. Give me one example of one peaceful Muslim country. Well, they seem peaceful until somebody goes in there and fucks with them, Like they'll be pretty prosperous and then something happens. There's way better videos that go into the history, like with the exact names of the regimes and stuff. I have a job in a factory and I had a foreman named Leroy Stevens. He would ritually get down and work with the employees. That place was a joy to work at, Frank said. Yeah, it is nice to be like on a team, or at least I like that. I'm glad not to be on an assembly line anymore. But it is really nice to have like good coworkers. Iran is evil and will use them on Israel, Linda said. It's just, you guys just repeat things that people said. Rhett said, Lee, Saudi Arabia, what is it? Like Dubai is known to be so exceedingly safe. Kuwait, nobody's homeless in Kuwait. Who asked Lee? Nobody's homeless in Kuwait. They take care of their own. And if somebody's not from there and not like a Kuwaiti, they're not working, they get rid of them super quick. They're like, you're not a citizen of here. We're not going to take care of you with all of our oil money. They have their faults. They have like problems with landfills and certain things. But overall, it's a super safe place. And like, somebody I used to follow moved there, and that's how I learned about it. The only one in Dubai, that's it, not really a Muslim country, Lee said. Morality police, the ones that enforce Sharia law. And like Iran seemed to be a fine place until people start, what was going on in their country. One of the oldest civilizations, one of the oldest countries we have on our planet, and morality police, the ones that enforce Sharia law, Edge said. Hi, Dan, how are you? Lee, you're talking about the United Arab Emirates, Rhett said. Money is Arabia, God now. Oh. Romans 10:13, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, Year said. Saudi Arabia is quite peaceful and successful. Hi, Anna, how are you? Hi, Sid, how are you? Wait, though, then why does Israel have 40 abortion clinics while in Islamic places abortion is outlawed? Oh, I didn't know that, Red. If someone's mom was pro-choice, they might not be here today. Who said? Yeah, I understand, but I also understand sometimes women make that decision, and it's horrible. It is killing a baby. It is. It's horrible that some women are put in that spot, and I've been fortunate to never really have to make that decision. So I don't want to take it away from somebody else, but I also understand why people are against it. What's justifiables? What about the videos Buck said? There's somebody that saw that, oh my God, it was, I can't remember what channel. It was obvious there was like little kids on people's laps and like this restaurant in France, and it's so fucking, I'm sorry, GC, I don't think you have seen some of the pictures I've seen if you still support Trump. And then if you do, I can't help you, because it's like, there's this one that just is describing a picture because the picture is much too graphic. And it's describing a little girl with men all around her, her legs spread, a little girl, not a 15-year-old party girl, like some people want to justify it, like an 8-year-old little girl, and her genitals are bleeding, and there's men standing around her. There's nothing to investigate. There's nobody that is worthy of arresting because of these files. Lydia, you're kicking your own culture. Yes, we're not perfect, but Islam, the Muslim religion, has been trying to conquer the world for the past 1,500 years. What makes you think they're going to just stop? GC, I think that if you're going to use the excuse that they're terrorists that are never going to stop while you're actively genociding them and trying to ethnic cleanse the whole Middle East and take away, I can't. I don't think nothing justifies what is going on. And I can't explain it any simpler. If you're okay with innocent people being killed and the way that the IDF and people from Israel just go and like take somebody's home, would you be, I put myself in these people's shoes. What if I was born into in an Islamic country and I was a Muslim born and raised that way? They can't help that they were born into that religion. No, I don't think all of them are trying to steal the whole world. That's what Israel is doing. It's just mind-boggling. They're the ones literally infiltrating other countries. And then they're saying, it is like that saying, a Jew will hit you and scream while they do, scream in pain as they hit you. It's so true. It's like, once again, not all Jews. But if you think that this is justified because you hate Muslims and Islam that much, you've been brainwashed to think that. They're not working on some nukes so they can bomb the whole rest of the world. Why haven't they done it yet? Do you know how much money is going around in those oil countries and the countries with tons of oil? Oh my God, like I said, I think Kuwait is like used to be one of the richest countries in the world. They're not really wanting for stuff in the same way in a lot of these countries where we've been taught to, they're like these people living in the desert. Listen to me. And it's not the Quality Learning Center. It's on the Bible. They lie or they would prove the Bible's true, Christ said. It's on the Bible that Israel, it used to say Jacobite or whatever. Hi, but Miss Lucky, I know you're trying to be PC about it all, but the truth is ugly on both sides, but it's set up that we will end up fighting. Yes, Lee. Well, I think that there's no excuse for what's going on now. And the way that Trump is using our tax dollars and depleting our military, we're making ourselves more vulnerable the longer we're in this war, depleting so much. And like just the morale, the whole world looks at us differently. And if you look at the outside perspectives, I'm sorry, I don't think anybody who's really being honest with themselves about the whole situation is like, yeah, this is a good thing. And it's amazing to me that any of you are. I'm awestruck that anybody could think that like we're not the terrorists and Israel isn't the terrorist. But I mean, I get it. Like every Muslim country is fantastic. Adirondack said tax and interest is illegal in Islam. That's why the West wants them gone. Yeah, just like Syria. Syria wasn't part of the central bank. Oh yeah, Syria. Syria used to be a great country till we started fucking it up like everything else. And Obama started bombing them. They're all warmongers, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans. Do you realize what they are doing to Christians over in Africa and the Middle East? They are committing genocide, GC said. Yeah, there's always horrible, thanks for bringing up Africa, because there's been a handful of genocides over there. Nobody talks about, nobody cares, nobody thinks about over here in our country, you know. And once again, I don't think that it's okay to do something because somebody else is worse than you. You know, I do unto others. So I don't believe in war, period. And I think it's best and smartest to be prepared. Like it's better to be prepared and not need it than to not need it, you know, not have it and to need it and not have it. This isn't that. We're starting such a big conflict that's going to affect I'm serious, once there's $10 loaves of bread, maybe then you guys will get it. Maybe then, or will you still be telling yourselves, but they had nukes or they're going to nuke us if we don't do this to them now. There's always, and honestly, I'm kind of sick of the colonialization, the colonialism, white people trying to push their religion on everything. Like, I'm not saying they deserve to be killed, but once again, it's like this white supremacist attitude that you go to another country, you're going to improve it. They just rape and steal from them. They steal their resources. They bottle up their water, dry up their wells, and sell their water under Nestle's name. It's fucking horrible. We're the demons. And I say that, I mean white people. And everything comes from black people. Everything. Every kind of music you listen to was created in an African community. Literally, every single genre of music, black people came up with it. Every one of them, guys. And somebody else made a really good point I never really thought about. We'd all be, I'm sorry, no offense to Amish people, but we'd all be dressing like Amish people. We'd all be dressing the same if it wasn't for them. Think about it. How did people, okay, yeah, some people had fancier clothes because they were like rich and they could afford it. But for the most part, people dress like so much the same. And that's like the Africans are the ones that really taught us how to be like true individualists. And it's just funny all the shit that people give them. Tax and interest is, oh, I already read that. I'm not going to special health because I don't want someone to force me into a religion that I do not believe in. And frankly, Muhammad was a false prophet. Yeah, GC, and I respect that. And that's what I think. I'm good, Bradley. How are you? I think that this country was founded upon religious freedom. So it's just silly, you know, to knock anybody for being religious in whatever way they're religious in. Me, honestly, why I'm the fuck up? What do I worry about politicians, their laws, or healthcare? Thanks for the fuck up government. It's the reason my father is dead, all because of poor and lack of good health. Jorge, yeah. I'm sorry, bud. That's not. I don't know what to say to that because there's nothing I can say that'll make you like feel better about that. You know, it just sucks. I'm just thinking. Sometimes I do think we're in some kind of punishment. I'm not saying that you deserve any of that, Jorge, but it's like this world is so fucked up and evil. People are so greedy. Things are so bad. Can any Muslims in the chat tell me what happens to Muslim women that follow the book? I will wait, Lee said. What do you mean by that, Lee? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be facetious, but what do you mean by follow the book? I pack a 45, Bradley said. Just let men be men. At least this man has your best interest and interest. Yeah, GC, I just let people be people. And that's what I was saying. It's like women get pegged as being the overly emotional ones. Men start and fight in wars. And I know women do too. But it's like, and I'm not saying there'd be no wars if women ran the world. And somebody always has to bring up they get in more wars when they're leaders. Well, I think that they probably get fucked with a lot more too. And there's some women leading stuff when there's probably a lot of pushback. But anyways, I have 3 kids and I think about their future. I think about their kids' future if they had kids. It's like that things aren't getting any better. No, I don't think that this is justified. Like we're all getting drained. people losing their houses, people can't eat, people can't afford the medicines that they need, and our president will literally say it's not a thought on his mind. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about you, GC. Trump doesn't care about you. I don't think he cares about the good of the general public. I don't think he cares about anything but himself and his pockets. And I'm surprised he doesn't seem healthy at all. I'm surprised he's not like worse off. I'm just gonna say, I just hope every day he drops dead, but I'm not saying anything besides I just hope wake up to the news. But then it's like, okay, so Vance being president, that's not gonna, it's still gonna be the same people pulling the puppet strings, you know? But I just think he's so evil. At least JD Vance would probably have enough wherewithal not to be like, I don't care about the average American's plight. I don't care that people are in destitute situations. The Jews have to fight the whole world. Everybody is against them, just as the Bible said it would be, Evelyn said. They're forcing people to abide by the religion in New York and all the major cities, and they have taken over, just haven't gotten to you yet, GC said. Well, no, like I said, GC, I understand there's certain places where there's like more of them, but even when there's a call to prayer, I don't think they're like practicing Sharia law in the street, you know? And I've heard all the horror stories about countries like France and where they let a lot of refugees come, and I've spoken, like, there is something to be said about letting people from any country completely change the demographics of an area. That's why I speak out about it, because I know I'm not racist. I know I don't not like Hispanic people for being Hispanic, but I know what it's like to live in a town that gets absolutely run over by immigrants, and nothing is the same, and there's barely any resources for any of you, immigrant or not. And it's like, that's not, I don't think that is, you know, when that lady did the social experiment calling the churches, 100% of the mosques said they would help her, but it was only 25% of the Christian churches. And yeah, I do think like everyday Muslims that aren't extremists aren't bad people. And Evelyn, if you're still in here, did you know that some Jewish people, Orthodox Jews, cut the foreskin off of little babies' boys, and the guy that does it puts his mouth on the baby's penis and suctions off the blood. And they're all like really happy about it. I don't care what any man wrote in a book to justify creepy shit nobody else would be okay with if it hadn't been written in that book. And I want to be respectful because, like I said, I know there's truth in the Bible. I know that there's things that, especially in Revelations, it's like, wow, this does seem like it could be the end of times. But no, I don't believe that this, yeah, no wonder they've been kicked out of hundreds of countries because they're horrible. They tend to be horrible and do horrible things. And I'm not saying anything about Hitler. I'm saying there's been so much history besides that where it's like the same thing over and over and over. They put Noahide laws into our law in 1991. They literally are, there's no statutes, no legislation that talks about how this country is a Christian country. And all of you guys that are concerned about Islam, what about the Noahide laws? It literally says we were founded on Noahide laws, which is a Jewish principle and something that a rabbi came up with in the 40s that. There's like, this is like the Jewish 10 commandments, and it's in our law. If you look up 7 Noahide or just Noahide laws, U.S. law, Bush, I don't know. You'll find it quickly. Why is everybody okay with that? I'm not okay with that. And I'm sorry, I'm glad I'm not indoctrinated by the Bible and I believe everything in it wholeheartedly. So I'm not okay with this. It just makes me glad. I'm not okay with what people are doing to Muslims just for the sake of them being Muslim. I think all world religions can have bad people for sure, Bradley. Like the extremists are, go live there for a while, then talk, John said. Well, I mean, it's not going to be much different here. The more we just keep laying down and let them surveil us and take all of our rights away. Y'all want to fight about like Muslims and people that don't even think about you. When what's going on right now with our, like the data centers and the mass surveillance and the flock cameras and grandma's going to jail for 5 months because the face scanning recognition system was wrong. Like, if you're like, looking past all of that because you're like mad about trans people or Muslims. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, did you know that there's like tons of counties where there's no OBGYNs? No OBGYNs in whole counties. In Alabama, it's like really bad. Our country is going to shit. It's all going to shit in every way. There's so many illiterate kids. There's so many teachers quitting. There's so many nurses quitting. What has to happen before you guys pull your heads out of the sand and realize this isn't what they told us? It's not the greatest country in the world, and it might not have ever been. But I'll give you that, like maybe at a certain point, because of the vast economic opportunities and just everything we have. We have so much of everything, like universities, beautiful everything from deserts to temperate rainforests and shit. Like I get that. But you should focus on your own people, Bradley said. I agree with that, Bradley. Every human on earth against Israel, Adirondack said. The Jews have to fight the whole world. Everybody is against them, just as the Bible said it would be. Evelyn, I don't know if I read your comment twice, or I probably did. You're so naive, but that can be a good thing as long as you're not running the country, GC said. GC, I can't really take anybody seriously. I'm trying to be nice. I can't take anybody seriously that supports Trump. Like, I can only take you semi-seriously. It's like I don't know why I was going to compare it to a semi-hard penis. I'm so sorry. I need to go soon. Your kids will be Muslim. No, I doubt it, Ringo. I raised two of the biggest Bible-thumping teenage boys I've ever known in my life, okay? Because I wanted them to have faith in God. And I told them, Mom doesn't believe in the Bible, but this is what a lot of people do believe in. And like they got interested in that, and I support that. And when my church wants to go to kid, I go. When my kid wants to go to church, I go with him. And I honestly, I did think that the last time we went to church, I was like, I don't want to support this pastor if he's okay with Israel. And I know he probably is. And I kind of don't want to go to a church anymore. See how that works out? It's like, I feel like I'm a bigger Christian than most Christians. I feel like I'm a bigger Christ follower than most Christians. Like I actually do unto others. I actually care about people. I don't tithe 10% to a church. When I'm making decent enough money, I give 10% to somebody, or I donate. Like I'm always, when I had a weighted blanket business, 10% of that went right back out the window to like just donate to blankets to people that couldn't afford to buy, like to pay for one. And yeah, I know I sound conceited, but I'm just saying, like, I know I'm a good person. I know I have a good heart. I know God knows my heart. And I know any of us that believe in God, we're all believing in the same thing, really, at the end of the day. And I'm not going to try to convince you to look at it like I look at it. But no, I don't believe that the God that made all of this is like human and has like these human rationalizing decisions. It's more like energy. What do you think about God using baby killing and mass abortions as punishment in the Bible? TMB said, are you asking me that, Timber Fox? Oh, that's kind of neat, your name, if that's what it was supposed to be. Well, I think that there's so many horrible things in the Bible that is like, were true. And that's one reason why I do believe that there's a lot of truth in it. But you have to remember it was written by and translated by men. And there's always going to be human error. I'm not even saying they're like trying to be evil. If Trump was a go, JD Vance isn't as extreme, Debbie said. It is worse. He's a full-on puppet. Trump has ego, Adirondack said. I think they're both kind of like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like Vance is like a full-on puppet. I know exactly what you mean by that. Like he came out of nowhere. He literally is Peter Thiel's ventriloquist dummy. All right, pro-American speech here. I'm down, Big Chevy said. Sorry for my language, but I'm just heartbroken. Just upset about the passing away of my father. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jorge. So glad Trump can run a third term, Jack said. Oh, goodness. I hope not, but I wouldn't doubt it. I'm 48 years old, 9 months circumcised because I'm German. Big Chevy, non-circumcised here. I don't know what you mean. I'm 48 years old, 9 months circumcised because I'm, you non-circumcised. Yeah, that's funny you brought up circumcision because I think that that's another way that that some Jewish evil Zionist Kabbalah worshiping weirdo Satanist shit. Like seriously, look, this Kabbalah, the Jewish mysticism that a lot of there's so many different Jews, like groups of Jews. I feel like there's more than there are Christians, but I don't know that for sure. But you know what I mean? Like there's like Baptist and everything with Christianity. There's so many different. So I don't, once again, I'm not talking about all Jewish people at all ever, but they don't look at energy. They don't look at it as like good and evil. They look at evil like that. It's just energy, and it's energy for them to harvest. And it makes so much sense when it comes to like the story I was talking about earlier, where kids at a college students at a university brought it to light that the IDF has a program where they come to this college campus in California and use people's bodies that were donated for science to do all sorts of medical stuff. And I know it's necessary to do things like this sometimes to learn human anatomy and everything, but no, in my opinion, I think that's downright evil. I think they get off on the fact that there's Americans donating their bodies unknowingly to them doing freaky weird stuff with it. I think that they, in my opinion, and I don't have any strong evidence for this, I know the Kellogg guy was really influential. The reason why America started circumcising like crazy, why were we like the only, like, and I don't think Canada ever did it as much as us, right? I know South and Central America doesn't as much as, why did we? I think that it was a big bloodletting ritual. They're demons. So it's funny to me because like I get it, guys, I've heard it all. Aisha, 9 years old, and they're like, oh, well, he didn't stick it in though, like they don't do it until they have their first period, and being horrified by all of that. There's horrible, horrible perverts trying to make it so like 14-year-olds can get married that are Christian, Jesus was a good dude, Snuffalo said. My grandmother and grandfather were Germans and they were Catholics. Hitler never been Christianity in Germany, Big Chevy said. Thank you, Sunny U, for saying I'm correct. He had no woman, no wealth, and died suffering, believing his beliefs to the end. A true ride or die, friend. Snuffalo said. Snufflios. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Don't trust, that's all. Don't invite, Ringo said. Age of Aquarius, soul. Oh, you're still in here, cool. When the founding fathers discussed and wrote down freedom of religion, they weren't planning on having a Muslim invasion take place, Big Chevy said. Chevy said, yeah, well, I'm just going to say it. If people talk about how women aren't like women anymore, maybe if men would be men, stuff like that wouldn't happen. If the America was the America that I think most of us wish it was, it wouldn't even be like there's going to be a Muslim invasion, Sharia law, they're going to have, it'd be like, that's not going to happen here, and we're not going to let it. But because nobody puts their foot down, because we're all supposed to be led by these natural leaders, which it's not true. You don't have to be a leader if you're a man. That shouldn't be put on your shoulders, But it's like, oh, they're like such great, more so than women. But meanwhile, all this shit is going to shit. Men never, ever call out the bad men. And that's part of the problem. That's part of why we're at the end of a cycle. And I do believe when things were better, yeah, men would call out the evil men more. Abortion is a moral issue, is something done like throwing away bubblegum wrapper, like a lot of women describe it. Does life have worth or not? Should all abortions be outlawed? No, GC said. Yeah, it is very sad when women like celebrate it and stuff, but most women do not take that decision lightly. Look how many Christian country Muslims took over by the sword. Are you talking about like 2,000 years ago, John? I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. How many? It's better USA control the world than Russia or China, or we are dead. Snifflios. I don't agree with that. I mean, what are we doing? How are we any better? Why do we deserve to have the most control? Have you guys seen some of the shit China's got going on now? They have barely any homeless people. I'm not saying I want to be communist, but I'm just saying, look at our country compared to theirs. They don't have any homeless people hardly. 99% of people are homeowners over there. They don't have property tax. They have high-speed trains. They have so much more going on in their infrastructure that's like, what are we doing with our money? Oh, yeah, we're giving it to Israel. It's ridiculous to look down on Chinese people when, like, I know they have their faults. And, like, there's probably lots of Chinese people that would, like, still want to live here over there. I don't know. Is there? But, tithing is not giving. It is returning to God for the increase that he has given a person. Second, in Advent. Thank you for correcting me with that. But like, I don't believe when churches do it, it's a good thing, because the Bible even says, beware of men who speak about God and ask for money, right? And it says it that in like 5 different ways. So why do you jump to the conclusion that I support Trump and Americans are not? I'm sorry, GC, didn't you say that you think that what he's doing is good and for the best in the long run? And Americans are not for genocide on the people of the Mideast. We are at war and casualties happen in war. Let men be men. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I think that if the testosterone levels weren't dropping 1% every year, which men can't help, I'm not saying there's anything men can do about that. Like, things wouldn't be getting as bad as they are, you know? And it's like, it's super disappointing to see anybody not like that's. I know there's men that are upset about the Epstein files. I follow a few people like Conspiracy Files here on YouTube. He does a great job covering that. And I know there's men that sincerely care, but not enough. I pray our children be spared from Islam, Lee said. Look at how many Christian. Okay, I already read that. How many innocent people were killed on October 4th when the extremists parachuted on those young kids at a festival? Yeah, GC, and I think that they did that to their own people. That's the most evil thing. In my opinion, they let that happen. Are you aware of Israel and like their firmament, how they have like the best, because they put themselves in the middle of their enemies and like fight them all the time. There's no excuse for people to be hang gliding in there other than they let it happen. And I feel that strongly about it. Yes, I do believe with all my heart. The day I heard about it, I was like, that is so fucked up. They're letting that happen to their own people. They let that happen. Really sit with that. That is so, it's even worse than if it was just terrorists terrorizing them. They let hang gliders hang glide in there and torture and rape and murder their own people. I think that's absolutely diabolical. It doesn't get any worse than that. And I'm not saying that Muslims are perfect, but I don't see any of that shit happening. And then there's, oh, well, they were killing their protesters. Meanwhile, we're talking about the guns we sent. I'm sorry, it's not funny. Trump can't run for a third term. It's against Congress, Debbie said. Steady, you're sexist towards men. No, I think everybody has a little... if that's considered sexism, you know, we all are conditioned by this in this world. And I do think that things would be better if more men had a backbone. I do. And people can talk shit about women all day long, but you say anything like that and it turns into this like, but you know I'm right. If men were men and led better, the whole world would be better. But for some reason, it's our fault. It turns into our fault every single time, no matter what. Even though we don't do anything, it's still our fault. I explained that earlier with our alliance with Israel. It's like a huge military base for us to prevent them from doing so. Lydia, you're sweet, and I love you, girl, but you catch on real quick, real slow. No, I understand because I've heard all these talking points before, GC. I understand, like, you think we should give our tax dollars to Israel so they can be sustained. I don't agree with you. I don't. And talk about military bases. You know, we screwed ourselves over. We had so much more presence. Now, all of our bases, not all of them, most of our bases we had in the Middle East are obliterated. We're screwing ourselves over. We have less control than we had before. We have no original Bible today. All translations from Greek language are manufactured by Roman pages and Vatican later on. Habibullah said. Habibullah. Cool story. Now let's know why we circumcise. It's because it helps with cleanliness. Gunk and disgusting things get caught up in between the foreskin and cause infections. The more you know. Steady snack. It literally reduces infections. Look it up. It's like 1%. We don't cut off women's clitorises because that would also reduce infection 1%. You know what we do? We have a half an aisle at the store for products that clean it. You clean it. We don't live in deserts without running water anymore, okay? There's no reason for gunk to be building up in a foreskin other than you're not cleaning it. And we can all clean ourselves and teach our little boys how to clean themselves. Do you know the one time it was studied in Canada, they stopped the study early because it was torturous amounts of pain. And I think this might be part of the problem with men. You hold a baby down in this first day of life, second day of life, and cut his genitals, one of the most sensitive parts of the body with the most nerve endings. Oh, because it would be more tissue later in his life. It's healthy, functioning tissue. There's no reason to cut it off. I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. No, it reduces infection as much as if we cut our earlobes off, we'd get less ear infections. We don't do that. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. And I do think that it can maybe affect boys and rewire their brains like torture does. And Fuzz said, I'm still looking for the doctor that circumcised me. I'm circumcised. The doctor said it has to avoid infection because skin has pockets folding in for men, and infection can collect if not washed daily. Yes, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but like we've got to be honest with ourselves to help the future. Okay, there's somebody in my life who almost died. That's how I found out about it. It wasn't one of my sons. I don't want to. It's just that's all I'm going to say about it. Baby boys die every year from this trope. He's not going to be able to potty train if he doesn't look like daddy down there. That really freaks me out. I'm sorry. I'm glad. I think people have finally stopped saying that weird stuff. That's fucking weird. Think about it. Little girls don't look like their moms. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna go pee real quick. I'm sorry. I have to use the bathroom. I'm so sorry. I really hate doing that to you guys, but I can't. I can't drink this tea. I put my chapstick on. Now you sound like you're just echoing. Um, hold on. Hold on 1 second. I have to get my kid a blanket. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Um, Arthur Quan Lee. He's a YouTube channel that if you are Christian and open minded enough to maybe listen to another Christian who also thinks that, hold on, sorry, the door is open. Zionists are evil. Like, there's no excuses in the Bible according to him. I don't know. He just makes a lot of good content. It really, I'm surprised he still has a YouTube channel. But it seems like it's more okay to speak the truth. Mother of Jesus was 12-year-old. Husband was 93 years old when Jesus was born. I know. There's a lot of, I dated any religion, right? I dated a guy in the 70s. He was not circumcised and he got infections. They had to soak it in some medicine, like you said. That's unfortunate. GC, I got to slow up. You got me caught up in this. You have a soft heart, and that's a good thing. I appreciate that. Oh, I appreciate you too, GC. And I don't expect everybody to believe, but like it is something I feel super strongly about. And I'm just so disappointed in Trump. And then I have to check myself like, well, I didn't turn against him or whatever, you know, until a certain point. I shouldn't expect everybody to at that point. I do understand that. But I mean, little girls, the first day of the war, the guys, them bombing a girls' school, they're committing ethnic cleansing. That's how many people do they really kill when they kill 173 young women? They were making a point. They don't want to let these people exist anymore. And then we're going to be told like it's their fault. No, just take a look at Kite Runner. Ringo said, Thomas Jefferson was reading the Quran when he was writing the Constitution, you illiterates. Look up the Capitol Rotunda. You will see the name Muhammad written. Go check. XX said. XX, if you're still in here, that's super interesting. And I bring up the Noahide laws a lot, which is something that a lot of people don't know about. China's a big place, and how do you know they don't have homeless? Their Am I Alive app is also their #1 download, Edge said. They don't have a homeless problem like we do here. Yes, there is a guy, 3F's family financial fitness study. There is, guys, 3 F's: family, financial, fitness. I'm sorry, Steady said that. China's infrastructure is terrible. Yeah, they have their issues. I know they have those like ghost cities that it seems like they were built for so many different reasons. I've heard of that. But then they like start falling down and stuff. Who is it that covers Epstein on YouTube? Sean, if you're still in here, Conspiracy Files. It's this guy with like curly blonde hair. And Jay DeMilo. But like Conspiracy Files, he puts pretty. Staying up late, Pyramid said, yes. He built a house in the middle of the enemy territory. Only Israel, XX said, yeah, I know. Karma's coming for you, Pat. Yeah, I think I have some really good karma. I've been working in my garden, seriously, so much. And I'm seriously thinking about like sleeping out there sometimes. When it comes close to harvest time, I am going to be paranoid. I have such a good thing going right now. And the way that it's not going to get any better. Adirondack, what do you mean no rape happened? What exactly are you talking about? Oh, Brett Hardenberg making fun of Kentucky. How original. We showed them how to make toilet paper. Okay, Muslims planned this for 8 months, like September 11th. Ringo said, oh dear. They showed us how to do math. Like, you guys really don't understand much about the cradle of civilization if you think like we're superior. In Asia and Africa and shit, they were like doing early inoculations hundreds of years, thousands of years before white people were. White people were dying in their own filth during the, you know what I mean, like the plague and stuff like that. Adirondack, are you talking to me to stop with my propaganda? You don't have to be here if you're talking to me, but I'm sorry if you're not. That's a problem you hear, but don't learn, Ipso said. Oh, some people can think critically for themselves. ICE needs to investigate this possible sleeper cell, Brent Hardenberg said. I'm sure ICE knows all about me. I'm sure I'm on a list because I spoke out about ICE, because that's the America we live in, guys. And if it was 1960, whatever, McCarthyism era, people, men and women, wouldn't be standing for this. They wouldn't be okay with everything that's going on right now. They wouldn't be just like fighting with each other about who likes who. Yeah, because she's a real military advisor and gets information directly from the White House herself, Steady said. Who are you talking about? I want to look at your comments now. I'm going to go love my wife because that is a landmine. Have a good one. Well, I hope you have a good time loving your wife. I'm not wearing socks. Israel is using the average American like a cash cow for tax. I agree. That's wrong, Lee said. I'm sorry. I'm trying to put my charger on. I mean, I should go anyways. I'm like wired now. Foreskin is unhygienic, Tony said. You know, women have foreskin too. Do you think women's foreskin is unhygienic? I mean, it can be. Don't get me wrong. Like, it can be. But I don't want to make any man feel bad about his body, but at a certain point, you got to grow up and be able to learn facts about human anatomy and do it at least for the next generation. Stop perpetuating the stupid shit that uncircumcised men get made fun of. I just think it's crazy that it's so normalized to do that to an infant boy without any anesthesia, because they used to say they don't feel anything. They just stop crying. They're going into shock. That's why the Canadian study stopped, because these little boys are going through torturous amounts of pain. They're going into shock. And I don't want to get in. There's conditions that can happen because of this. I mean, it reduces infection. I think it causes more harm than it does good, than it helps reduce infections or whatever. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I also don't want to see any little baby boys dying. You know, when you're a grown man, you want to make that decision and have adequate pain management. Yeah, it's going to suck, but at least you have made the decision yourself and you have adequate pain management during the healing process. You know? Don't even, oh gosh. You know, only demons visit people in dark caves, Lee said, not angels. So who was Muhammad talking to, Lee said. Well, I mean, that's what Christians believe, you know, that anything, basically everything is a demon. Adirondack, I'm circumcised, but it happened when I was young. It hurt like hell. The anesthesia did not work. Aww. Hi, Philip. How are you doing? I don't think they're blowing the girls. No, I'm not gonna cry. Jesus, King of Kings, means his crown was on his heart. That's why he was King of Love, Lee said. All is within, Soul said. I agree. What about those scientists? Philip said. What do you mean, Philip? I have a feeling you're talking about the ones that have gone missing. Yeah, I think that's another indication of our super corrupt government, or it's like just like a big, it's just a good old boys club, a good boys club is what I meant to say. You're either in or you're out, you know, and it's like, it's really sad. So even if you have something to contribute, like those scientists, you might be just taken out one day. When you are old and single, living in an old folks' home, it will behoove you not to share your opinions with others unless you want to be evicted the rest of your life. Just saying, Kentucky Strong. Brent Hardenberg said, okay, Brent. It has behooved me thus far because I have fun talking to you guys on my growing YouTube channel. Thank you, Rick, for saying you like my garden. What's up, Big Head? I love your channel, you big head goofy, you, Thomas said. Oh, my goodness. How far they've fallen, Edge. No rape ever happened on October 7th, Adirondack. Oh, okay. Well, I heard there was some of that, but I don't know how you know. Oh, hey, Michael, how are you doing? Yeah, you are late. I'm getting ready to go soon. Joel, how are you? Jesus did not kill her son. Muhammad was fighting at 7 wars, Lee said. Jesus is mentioned and recognized in the Quran as a prophet. Yes, and I think that's one cool thing about it, right? Like they don't think he's burning in hell for all of eternity in excrement. That's in the Talmud. So if you think we should support Jews, just know that a lot of the Jewish people in Israel think that Jesus is burning in excrement for all of eternity. I don't see how that makes it's only because people feel like there is this alliance that it is allowed to be okay with anybody. I mean, I know there's not something we can physically do about it, but I told y'all the last apartment I rented in Louisville, it was fundraised by some little hats. And that's when I learned there's all sorts of groups of people that fundraise. It was literally called that, apartment complexes. They didn't own it. Somebody else owned it, but then these people took over, I don't know, some kind of ownership of it. And like I literally saw them walking around the apartment complex with the property management one time. Oh my God, I'm so mad I didn't like take a picture or something. They gave me the creeps, just like the Orthodox Jews in Miami. Some of the creepiest energy I ever felt in my life was the extreme Jewish people. I'm not afraid to say it. Like they exude, you are gum on the bottom of their shoe to you. They just like, I've never been around any other group of people, even the extreme Muslims. They just didn't want to associate. And they could be a little rude, but they didn't like come at us, you know. I bear witness that there is no God but the Lord Jesus Christ, and I bear witness that the Lord Jesus Christ is the Word, and He is God. Warfrog said. If you steal from rich, it's not a theft, so it's okay to. If you steal from rich, it's not a theft, so it's okay to steal from America or Europe. They build everything every day. They build every day. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying, Ringo. I understand the sentiment, but so thank you for saying my head is perfect. China doesn't have the Democrat Party either to turn cities into ghettos, GCs. That's what I said earlier. Like, I do understand why somebody would not think, you know, the Democrats and nobody's done anything for us. Thinking country needs a Davy Crockett of sorts. Truth, Michelson. Warfrog, I bear witness. I believe there's no God but the Lord Jesus Christ, and I bear witness that the Lord Jesus Christ is a word and He is God. Is that what it means translated? I had to read that, and I felt like once I started, I couldn't stop. Oh, Erica asked what my channel is about. I'm kind of all over the place, which I know isn't that great. I'm trying to focus on gardening, being as self-sustainable as possible. We talk about all sorts of subjects here, though. So, like I brought up a few times, Jews are jealous for losing Poland, Germany, France, Ukraine. Some of them are, I think, Ringo. PCOS is a very common, it's an autoimmune disease. They changed it to, I don't even know, something with an M, you know, like metabolic. It's like, now it's like polycystic metabolic something. It's so stupid. And this doctor was sitting there talking about it. This is like to hopefully help women because women's healthcare is so in the dark. They're like, maybe we'll help women if we change a name of a disease a lot of them have. And the whole point is she's like sitting there talking, it's the same bullshit. All women get is the birth control. We are so highly understudied. Everything, even crash test dummies, are male bodies. Seriously, crash test dummies. Most CPR are like male bodies. If you ever took a CPR class, was there boobs on the doll? It's always a male. Most tennis shoes are designed for male feet. Most companies use the anatomy of male feet. It goes on and on. Most medicines are only tested on male bodies because our hormones complicate it. Also, they don't want to get into the ethical gray area of a possible pregnant woman getting something or something, But still, they could test and make sure she's not pregnant, like they do before you get a surgery or whatever. And it's like, it just goes on and on and on and on. We would all be better off. Whatever you have to say about women, I do think birth control can change some. That doesn't mean that we're all like crazy freaks. No, it actually like subdues you. In my experience, in my opinion, in a way, it's not that it makes women crazy. It's shutting off somebody's hormones and having that be the only band-aid. You throw on absolutely every single problem that could result from hormone imbalance, which is vast. And I'm told having high testosterone as a woman is horrible for your heart and other things. Like, it's not good, but there's no repercussions. There's no recourse. There's no treating it. But if I wanted to be a man, you could make me a man. Make that make sense. How does that make any sense? You can't balance my hormones as a woman, but you could make me transition into the whole other gender. Well, that's because they're using horrible drugs that nobody should be on long term, in my opinion. And that's horrible. They're preying upon people. So I just wanted to say that because it's like really interesting to me. There's this news segment, that's all the doctor was saying, is like, women need more help, and if we do this, maybe women will get help. It's like, why don't you just help us? Why don't you just start at the root problem? This is caused by a hormone imbalance. Let's fix the hormones. It's such a gray area. It's so weird. I myself got hormone implants where this was like 15 years ago. It was like they took a scalpel and put a grain of rice size, it was like an implant the size of a grain of rice, like my upper thigh area. So I was like 23 years old, mind you, getting this done for a few months in a row. Super expensive, super duper expensive. And I told them, I was like, I can't keep up with this, like, and abruptly stopping it really fucked with me. I remember that. And it's like, they don't help women at all. I might have done like long-term damage or something too. But it's like, what can you do? So then every time I'm in a forum and I see women suffering, I always bring up progesterone cream derived from yams. And I just want to say that as much as possible. Progesterone cream derived from yams saved my life. And I know a lot of women, they still won't take somebody's advice unless it comes from a doctor, because they haven't been hurt enough, I guess, by the medical industry to be like, no, you shouldn't put all your faith in them. They're not demigods. They don't know everything about the human body. They damn sure don't know everything about your body, and nor do they care. I had a doctor insist I didn't have PCOS because of the way this doctor was talking in this news segment. Women are overweight, they have acne, they have facial hair. I have had periods in my life where I was a little overweight, but like for the most part, I've been underweight most of my life. And like, this is why women don't get help when they need the help, or you don't get help until you're overweight, but then everything's blamed on your weight. It's just insane. And I'm not saying that excess weight can't cause health issues, but I know what doctors do to overweight women. And then it's like, my glucose is literally like all the way red, bad. Like the last time I got blood work, she's like, did you eat sugar that day? And I was like, I mean, I had a cup of coffee. She's like, okay, so you had sugar in your coffee? I was like, actually, no, I didn't. It was stevia. And I swear that bitch didn't believe me. She didn't believe me. She's like, your glucose wouldn't have been this bad. I could see her thinking it, and that's, PCOS is tied to insulin resistance. So anyways, I know I'm just rambling now, I appreciate all you guys that listen, because it is really, it's really hard to be in this world as a woman with a woman's body and not get any help. Walk up to Planned Parenthood to get a biopsy, like 8th biopsy in 8 years, and get excited because you see HRT available now. Hormone replacement therapy available at Planned Parenthood. Wow. Oh my gosh, I might actually get to feel as good as I I'm sorry. That one time I had hormone replacement therapy for a few months, and then I realized it wasn't for me unless I wanted to become a man. Like, I just think that's so crazy how we've we've gotten to the point, and like, I know this is, people are going to think no, I'm saying this as a matter of fact. We can transition genders, but we can't balance a woman's hormones. How does that make any sense? And this isn't me hating on trans people. I think that they've been politicized, and I think that you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want with your body when you're an adult, really. But like, I do think it's sad when kids go through some of that shit. Shoes don't even get men's feet right half the time. Maybe it's just a me problem, but it feels like either the heel is too big or my feet are being binded up like an ancient China woman. Edge, that was so funny. I'm doing good, Gerard. How are you? I do need to go because I'm holding up my phone. I got Moonshiner. Another reason to like yams. How are you, Moonshiner? Well, Queensgate is in Kentucky. That's so awesome. I am French and I don't understand anything Gerard said. Oh, Mr. Carey's talking in French. Fact, Donald Trump's fault, Primordial said. Are you talking about the HRT thing? You're funny. But yeah, it's like a really, really crazy world. I don't want to fight with you guys. I don't want to fight with any of you. But I really have to be honest. I'm going to say, like, I think we're in for a world of hurt. Things are going to get significantly worse than they are right now. You think people are barely hanging on. It's only going to get worse. And when, like I said, mark my words, when there's, I'm sure a lot of you heard about it in Venezuela, when things started to get worse and worse and the inflation was crazy and they were like printing off restaurant menus every day because it would just throughout the day get more expensive. I'm not saying that that exact same thing is going to happen here, but it's going to be a version of that where like people don't realize, and people called this out around COVID time. Feed got super expensive. A lot of people sold their breeding stock. And I remember people saying, give it a few years and beef prices is gonna, it did, they got more expensive. And now with everything going on, doctors are nothing more but human body mechanics selling. What are you doing with camera annoying Ringo? I'm getting ready to go. My charger won't work on the tripod, so I'm sorry for shaking it. They can't smoke, but they can cut their privates without parents' consent. I know, Lee. That's what I like I said, I don't think anybody like chooses to feel gender dysphoria. I really feel for those people, but I don't think it's right that they are experimenting on them. I feel like they're experimenting on them like just like the COVID vaccine. It's like, yeah, this group of people who are vulnerable because they're in a position where they'll take any help that they can get and they see that as help, but it's like carcinogenic hormones that they don't give cancer patients for longer than like 6 or 7 years because at that point the risk of cancer becomes too great. And it's just really sad when you find out all this stuff. And it's like, once again, it comes off as hating on trans people. I know it does, but that's why I think it's just going to reach the people that I know are meant to be in my community. If you can understand where I'm coming from, I really am sorry. I'm not hating on anybody. Hi, Kentucky Lady Natalie said. Hi, how are you? They also can't consent in general. If one thinks about it, drinking you should be lower too, and it is in most places. Yes, Moonshiner. Pray for the children. They are so confused. Michael, I agree with you. And that's what I was saying with the not teaching kids to share, like, stuff's, I'm doing a great job. So I know there's other good parents out there, but it's just so sad what kids are going through. And they're the canaries in the coal mine. If you don't know what that means, canaries used to be brought down into coal mines because they would show signs of like bad gases, lack of oxygen. They would die first, or like pass out or whatever. So they would know to get out of there. And that's what our children are. And like, in a way, some of us too. It's like they're showing us this isn't healthy. All this technology saturating everything, and now it's going to turn into data centers. Oh my God, it's going to be 1984, orgy porgy. It's going to be what it is. And somebody brought up that if I was the devil, if you haven't heard that, you should go listen to it right now. If I was the devil, it's some guy, a little speech he made 50, 60 years ago, and he's literally describing everything that's going on from like doping people up with pharmaceuticals to make them more complacent to like just everything. None of them live long or self-delete. Yeah, Lee, it is horrible. It's so horrible. Like, I really do feel for them. But I think that anybody with an open enough mind will understand where I'm coming from, and I'm not being hateful people. It's just mind-blowing as a woman who's struggled with hormone imbalances. I bring up my facial hair a lot because I'm not embarrassed or too ashamed to bring up the fact I spend literally 2 hours a day, sometimes more, tweezing my facial hair. Because if I don't, I'd have a 5 o'clock shadow. And it's getting worse and worse. And when I say that to doctors, no help, nothing. I had one doctor offer that spiralactin. It is something they give to trans people to stop hair growth. And he's like, it's really hard on your liver. And as soon as you stop, the hair's going to come back. And like, what's the point if it's a medication I have to take every day the rest of my life? I might as well just like save up and get laser therapy. I think my eyes are green, F. Martin. Some people might call them hazel. I'm not a Trumper per se. I am conservative. I get my rationale and logic from the ideology, which I find is the only ideology that supports rationale and logic. Yeah, JC, like I know you've heard me say it. I lean towards the right, or I used to. Soror. From a transistor to massive data centers, they will self-implode truth. Yes, Michael, I do agree with you. Decentralized medicine is key. Yes, it would be, Nathan, in an ideal world. My lady has a beard, so I get it. It's chemicals in the food, Adirondack said. Yeah, it is like so nobody talks about it is depressing. Yeah, it's demoralizing. It's horrible to have such bad facial hair as a woman. And nobody talks about it. It is a cause of depression. And it's just I feel for women. Every time I see a woman that's struggling with it, I know what that's like. And I know what it's like to have to, like I said, you take 2 hours a day taking care of it. Some days you're just going to be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, oh God, I didn't realize it was that bad, but nobody can really see unless they're right up in my face anyways. But yeah, like I keep saying, if I'm ever getting like 40,000 views a video, I will make a video about my fucking facial hair. I want to be an example for other women. Like, nobody's perfect. You could sit around all day focusing on what you would change, what you don't like. If you focus on that, use that energy and time instead to be as healthy as possible, you're going to be beautiful, the best version of yourself. Anyways, both left and right are controlled. I agree, JM. Thank you, Lee, for saying you're beautiful inside and out. We really like you. That's really sweet. If I see one facial hair, divorce papers express deliveries. See, and I did say that to my husband. I was like, I wouldn't want you to watch that video. Even though I don't care about the rest of the world, I don't want him to see me like that either. Even though, trust me, he's seen my stubble. Like, he's lived with me for 20 years. But anyways, I love you guys. Listen to If I Was the Devil. It, like, in a way, it makes you feel better. Like, whatever crazy stuff is going on right now, it was meant to happen. It was. And we were meant to all sit here and talk about it. Can you say happy birthday to my friend? No. Oh my God, I love cats. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, that Chud guy. If you guys haven't heard, there's some influencer in Tennessee that walks around calling people the N-words, trying to provoke racial fights. It's just, it's everything people think like most Kentuckians are. I think, I don't know, but they're not. But anyways, horrible person. Don't agree with that at all. I don't think that you show that we have the freedom of speech by going around harassing people. And just because you have the freedom to say it doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of it. And that's what a lot of other white men seem to not be able to grasp, is like, he's just serving us all because he's trying to get free speech to come to the spotlight. Like, what? No, he's just saying what a lot of you guys don't have the nerve to say, what you wish you could say. I couldn't imagine being so hateful that seeing a black person would make me want to start saying racial slurs. But anyways, hair is human. Don't feel bad about it. Thanks for saying that, Adirondack. Thank you, Michael. Lydia gives facts with a little humor. Okay, now my hand's getting tired. And I really appreciate you, Mr. Carey. I love you guys. And I will have members only live tomorrow. Actually, I'm thinking about reading this plain English version of the Bible, because I'm like, maybe somebody else would be interested in on it. Interested about it. Is racism good? Sometimes Quake said, no, I don't think it's ever good. I understand tribalism in a certain way when you are used to being like, that person is like me, that person is not like me. It's ingrained in us a little bit to judge others like that. But at this point, we should be evolved enough to not look at somebody and think something of them. And that's what my definition of racism is. You look at somebody, you think anything different about them. Anything. Yeah, like, I guess positive things aren't as bad, like, "Oh, he's a black guy, he could probably jump real high," like, that might not seem racist, but you were, like, saying that just because of the color of their skin, and that's what always stuck with me when a English teacher in 8th grade said that. Chimping out was crazy. Oh my gosh, Lee, yes. Yes, that's one thing that this racist fuck kept saying. He kept saying, "Are you gonna chimp out? Are you gonna chimp out?" The video I was listening to, I almost had to change it because he said it so much. I felt like I was watching Maury, like the talk shows where they like repeat themselves. I was like, oh my gosh. And it was great. There was a few clips where like this one guy, it was an older man, and he's like, "I've got blacks in my family." He's like, "No, fuck you. We don't do that here." And they're like, all like, there's a lot of good-hearted moments that was like, yeah, people aren't cool with that. And people think, Tennessee might be full of racists too. And I know it was a city, but Union, I don't know about that. You need to look into Rh negative blood types because some people say this isn't okay. Rh positive is like Reese's positive, these antigens on the surface of your blood cells, your red blood cells. People who are Rh negative don't have that Reese's protein. Is it an antigen? Okay, I'm going to shut up. But basically, I think that explains why some people are like super seriously different. Okay. Is hope disappointment deferred? Not always, smiling dog. I'm a human. I didn't come from money. Quick boxing. I love this one chick. I posted a video of hers on my timeline, or, in my community. She's Irish. She has the best videos. Hands down, one of the best shorts creators I've came across in a long time. She has so many great sentiments. And when she was saying, like, you have to have gratitude, and that is how you manifest and attract things. Like, you have to have gratitude. And if you don't have gratitude for everything in your life, love you, Moonshiner. Good night. Okay, I'm really gonna go now. Love you guys.